Hello, everybody. How are you? I pray that all is well your way. I pray that you've had an amazing day so far. I know that today is Sunday, so I hope that you guys have went to church. Um, as you begin to come in, make sure that you let me know you're here by leaving a comment. Not only that, let me get some of this lipstick off of me, but not only that, let me know where you are tuning in from. We're going to be talking about the spirit of rejection, and believe it or not, you need this message. This is the most common demon out here. This is the strong man in the majority of deliverances. So believe it or not, you need this message. Also, make sure that you guys are liking and sharing. Make sure you let me know that you're in here. And I believe that today's message is going to be powerful. I know that I'm going to have to break it up into groups. I'm going to have to break it up because I'm going to have to do a part one and a part two, maybe even a part three, because I do believe that this is something that we really, really have to touch on. So glad to see y'all's comments. I was getting a little concerned. I'm used to seeing people come a little bit earlier, but so glad to see y'all. Y'all know I don't like wearing a whole lot of lipstick. I like it to be light, barely there. I don't like that old boisterous lip thing or what have you. So before we get into the message, I'm going to tell you guys, I just had the scare of my life. So I got home from church. And when I came home from church, of course, I already had it in my heart. God gave me a couple of days in advance what he wanted me to talk about on today or what have you. But I got home from church, and normally you can see my door. So you can see the door is made out of glass, right? So typically when I come home from church, I have the blinds pulled up so that Milo can see out. He can look directly at the driveway. And normally when I come home from church, he's right there at the door. Like he knows the time when I'm going to come home. He's right there at the door. Oh, what have you. Every once in a while, he may not be at the door. And that's very rare. That's typically like during a thunderstorm or something like that. I won't see him at the door because he's went upstairs or what have you, because he's scared of lightning. And, and then there are a few occasions, which are very rare, where he's asleep or what have you. So when I pulled up and my dog didn't come to the door, that was a little bit alarming, but I'm like, nevertheless, he probably in there asleep. I'm like, okay, well, maybe when he hears me closing the door. So I'm not gonna lie, I try to sneak up on him. So I try to close my car door a little bit light or what have you. And then I'm like, well, normally he still hears me. So when I go unlock my door, nothing. I still don't hear him. I don't see him. And so I come into the house. I'm like, normally now, if he hear me coming in the house, he gonna come because my alarm gonna make this ding sound because I have to disarm the alarm. I'm like, he gonna see me. Y'all, my dog, I didn't see anything. I didn't hear anything. So I started calling him. And of course, the worst thoughts are going through your head. The worst type of thoughts are going through your head. So I'm calling his name. He's not barking. He's not howling. He's not saying anything. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And then I had to start heading up the stairs. And all I could think of was, what's about to happen? Like, yeah, my dog's got to be here for a long, long, long time. What's about to happen? And when I got halfway up the stairs, it dawned on me. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. When I got halfway up the stairs, it dawned on me. I know where that dog is. The dog is in the upstairs bathroom. So that was one of my second fears. My dog, whenever he hears thunderstorm or something like that, he will typically, now my upstairs bathroom is very tiny. It's very little. Typically, he'll go into the bathroom and try to get into the tub. I looked that up one time and found out that's relatively common with dogs who have phobias about thunder or what have you. So that's relatively common as it relates to them. So one of my fears was that he was going to try to go in there because in order to get the toilet is there, and it's a very it's too thin. Like for me, when I get in the shower, sometimes I have to kind of move out the way and close the door and go around the door to get into the shower. No, he's going to try to fit his slender body through that little bit of gap, which is what he did, which causes the door to shut. So he locked himself in the bathroom. I'm about to get into the message, but I just had to tell somebody. I had to tell somebody what I just went through. He had locked himself in the bathroom. Let me tell you why that's been a fear of mine. Because sometimes it's cold in the morning. Georgia has this crazy weather. Sometimes it's cold in the morning and it's warm in the evening, which is what happened. This morning, I forgot to cut the heater down, and it was cold this morning. I had the heater up to 78 degrees. It was blazing hot in that bathroom. So that was my fear. He'd be locked up in there or what have you. And I'm like, I went in there and I'm like, bro, were you in here drinking toilet water or what have you? Because he don't drink out the toilet. He's a really good dog. Y'all, the dog locked himself in the bathroom. It was a relief. I'm just like, okay, he's good. He's okay. But that was a scare. I'm not going to lie. That was a scare because I love my baby. I love my baby. So thank you guys who over there praying in tongues for your sister, what have you. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get into this. I want to talk about the spirit of rejection. This is something the Lord has laid on my heart. This is the strong man in most deliverances. And a lot of times people don't understand that first and foremost is a mindset and then it's a spirit. It's the mindset of rejection that opens the door for the spirit of rejection. Hello, Yazoo City, Yazoo. I remember having to pass through Yazoo all of the time. It's like a blink you out of Yazoo on our way to Jackson. So, yes, I've read about it. They go into the bathroom. They get into the tub because of thunderstorms. They feel safe for whatever reason. So what I read was that they can feel the electricity. It causes like this static energy over them or what have you. But whenever they get into a tub, it grounds them so they don't feel that or what have you. So that's what I read at one point when I was trying to find out why the dog likes to get in the tub or what have you. So I don't mind him going to the bathroom downstairs in the tub there because that bathroom is spacious and he can get in there and he won't close the door. But I don't know why this dog like to go upstairs and close himself in the bathroom. But that's it. But again, when it comes to the spirit of rejection, it has to be understood that it starts off as a mindset, as with every other demon. And if we don't understand that, then you're more likely to go back out here and get bound again because we can deal with the demon, we can cast the demon out, but you still have to address the mindset of rejection. The mindset of rejection creates a culture within a human being. It creates a system within a human being, whereas you always set yourself up to feel rejected. So I'm going to information you down today. I'm going to give you a lot of information about the spirit of rejection. I'm going to give you some symptoms of rejection. And this is just going to be part one. Part two, I'm going to likely do it this week. Part two, I'm going to give you some tools, some information as it relates to how to get rid of the spirit of rejection or get rid of the mindset of rejection. But I didn't want to put all of that into this one because then this message would be super, super long. And I feel like I got enough notes as it is. So we're going to do a part one and a part two. But do me a favor, make sure that you like and share this. Make sure that you like and share this. And be aware that this is one of those messages that needs to be liked and shared because the majority of people on the face of this planet deal with rejection. Women, we have a thing where women are afraid to reject men. A lot of times, like if a man approaches us in a store, we're afraid to reject men because we are afraid of how they're going to respond. I saw people talking about that on TikTok. And anytime you see where a man has killed a woman for rejecting him, and I'm not talking about somebody that was in a relationship. I'm talking about a situation where a guy sees a woman, for example, in a club. A guy sees a woman walking in a store, walking down the street or what have you. He approaches her and she can reject him in the kindest way, but he still will take her life or curse her out. Many of us have been cursed out for rejecting men before. We said no. I remember being called, I was called a chicken head. I remember being called a chicken head when I was younger. So younger generation, I don't think that's y'all word. That came when I was a young lady. I remember being called, I remember walking down the street, and I don't know why this particular incident sticks out in my mind, but I remember walking down the street with a cousin of mine. We had went to this city called Leland, which is where my uncle lived in. We were visiting, and Leland was this really small town, or what have you. Really, the mindset, a lot of people there is just really chaotic. It's just really oppressed, or what have you. And so those were the type of neighborhoods when you're a young lady, for whatever reason, you like to be in those type of neighborhoods because of all the good looking guys over there, what have you. But I remember walking down the street with me and my cousin, and these guys started yelling at us or what have you. And, we decided, okay, we're going to ignore them because these are not the type of guys you want to get affiliated with. They look like, they were hoods, and not just hoods, because at the end of the day, we kind of had a slight attraction to the hood guys, but these were the hood of the hood. These were the type of people that you didn't want to affiliate yourself with, what have you. And so they were outside drinking, white t-shirts, all this stuff, what have you. They outside, and I remember we didn't say anything to them. We just smiled or what have you. And one of the guys yelled at us, "Oh, y'all don't want no scrub, right? Y'all don't want no scrub." And I think it was my cousin or myself. I don't know which one of us. We said no, and they were like, well, we don't want no pigeons. Go on, chicken head. So we got called a pigeon, a chicken head, or what have you. But we've been called far worse. Thank you, Sister Lena. God bless you. Thank you, Sister Lena. God bless you. We've been called far worse. If you go into the club, you've been cussed out. We have dealt with some rejection over the course of our lives. And consequently, a lot of times with women are afraid to reject men. So what we started resorting to doing is giving guys the wrong number. We started resorting to, making guys think that we were, and I remember doing that. I did that. I don't know, these stories pop up in my head. But I remember being in a mall, and I was a young lady at the time. I was working at Walmart, but I was at the mall. Because my mom worked at McGrady's. She worked at McGrady's for 16 years. And when I started working at Walmart, thank you to Daily Share, God bless you. When I started working at Walmart, at first I didn't have a car. And so the mall was across the street from Walmart. So what my mom would do, when I would come home from school, she would take her lunch break. She would take it late, and she would come home and get me. And I would have to go back to the mall with her, and I would just kind of have to hang out with them at the mall. I would just walk around the mall until it was time for me to go to work, and then I would just cross the highway and go to work or what have you. And I remember this guy approached me, and it's amazing because every time I've had demonic dreams about this particular guy, what have you. I don't know him personally, what have you, but he was used as a type and shadow in some of my dreams. But this guy approached me, and he tried to get with me or what have you. For whatever reason, I was afraid to reject him. For whatever reason, I was afraid to tell him I wasn't interested. And so what I did was I ended up giving him the wrong number. And I thought that was that or what have you. And one day this guy comes into Walmart. He sees me, and I'm talking about he's blazing mad. He's blazing mad. He walks up to me. He's going off or what have you. And then he was like, "You gave me the wrong number." I said, "No, I didn't. I was wondering why you didn't call." And I knew I had gave him the wrong number. Thank you, Jay Lee. God bless you. I knew I had gave him the wrong number, but I was like, "No, I didn't." And so he was like, "Yes, you did. You gave me the wrong number." And I'm talking about he's going in. And I'm like, "What number did I give you?" And he sat back and he quoted the number. Somehow he remembered it. He quoted the number. I said, "That's where you made the mistakes." Thankfully, they didn't have cell phones then. I said, "Did they? No." I said, "That's where you made the mistake." I said, "It's 332, not 335. And he was like, "Okay. My bad, man. I was wondering." I was like, "Yeah, I wonder why you never called." Gave him another wrong number or what have you. So from that point on, every time I saw that dude in Walmart, I would hide. I worked there 7 years. Anytime I see him in that shopping, I would hide from his tail because he overreacted to being rejected. He overreacted. And all our honesty, I was wrong too for giving him the wrong number. But at the same time, we do live in a time and in a culture where there are guys out there who don't take well to rejection. And so this is a note to you, to my brothers in Christ. Just a little bit of a note whenever you're wanting to approach a woman. There's a right way to approach a woman. There's a right way and there's a wrong way to approach a woman. You never demand a woman's number. The best thing, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice because if you're listening, you're male. 9 times out of 10, you're Christian. The best way to approach a female is just to be kind. Honestly, that's it. Just be kind. Just walk up, say, "Hey, how you doing? You look nice today," or what have you. If you don't know her, if you're in a let's say in a mall setting or something like that, your best out is just to walk up to her and say, "Excuse me, I don't mean to stop you, but you are absolutely gorgeous." And she's gonna say thank you, and maybe crack a joke and then say, "So are you in a relationship?" If she says no, that means she's interested or she's considering. Say, "Well, is it possible? I would love to get to know you better. Is it possible for me to get your phone number?" Or what have you. And then thank you, Jay Lee. God bless you. And then let her tell you, you got to stop being afraid of that. And I'm talking to my brothers in Christ. You got to stop being afraid of being rejected. Honestly, if you go up to a female the right way, rejection doesn't sting. Rejection typically stings when you go to a female the wrong way. When you come up to her talking about something, hey, come on, put that phone number down, put that phone number down, because now the woman feels controlled. But typically when you go up to a woman in a respectful way, if she's going to let you down, she'll do so respectfully. And you just got to get over your ego. You just got to get over your ego. So I'm going to go into this and I'm going to talk about some of the symptoms of rejection. I'm going to talk about some of the symptoms of rejection. I think that this is going to help you if you are dealing with the spirit of rejection. Now, make sure you like and share. This is your due diligence. This is your way of doing evangelism so that some of the people on your page can get this revelation as well. And it can help them. You'll be amazed at how many people who will look at this and say, confirmation, this is what God, I was dealing with this today. I was struggling with this. I've been struggling with this week or what have you. And I do believe, honestly, that I honestly can say that I believe this message is going to save lives. I believe it's going to save lives because as I teach it to you, I'm going to give you some things. I may give you some pointers on how to overcome. So let's go ahead and talk about this. Number one, the first symptom of rejection, you always feel left out. You always feel left out. Whenever you're in a communal setting or corporate setting, you always feel left out of things or what have you. And a lot of times, and this is, and I'm going to probably do this throughout because I have a lot of thoughts that come in. Not only do you feel left out, you're always interpreting why you're left out. You're always interpreting why you're left out. One of the things I want to ask you to do is during this message, anytime, and I want you to remember this because you're going to likely forget, anytime I say something that you feel like relates to you, put the hand up emoji. So you always feel left out. Not only do you feel left out, you oftentimes interpret why people have left you out. I'm not pretty enough. Oh, they think they're better than everybody else. They left me out because I'm not light-skinned enough. They only hang with light-skinned people. They left me out or what have you. So you're always interpreting. And one of the things that I always tell people to do is stop interpreting what's going on in people's minds. I grew up in a household like that, which is why I preach against it so passionately, because most of the time over the course of my life, anytime people have tried to interpret my thoughts, in 99.9% of the cases, they were wrong. When they tried to interpret my movements, my thoughts, they were wrong. And that's because I don't have one of those faces that tell you what's going on in my head. I actually have one of those faces where you're genuinely not going to be able to tell what's going on in my head. So you always feel left out of things. Number two, you feel like others are always judging you. You always feel judged. Even though people don't know you, you feel like they've already placed judgment on you. Sometimes you feel like everywhere I go is like this. When I go into a place, people are already judging me. They're already talking about me. They don't give me a chance. I feel like I'm a good person, but I don't feel like there are people out there there are too many people out there who are willing to give me a chance. If they got to know me, they know I'm a great person. But unfortunately, they never get to know me. So consequently, I go into these settings and stuff like this, and people oftentimes will reject me. Let me say this to my sisters out there who society has crowned you as extraordinarily beautiful. Now, I say that because I believe that every woman is beautiful, but maybe you have extraordinary beauty. A lot of times you deal with rejection because maybe you were rejected by some females because of your beauty, because you are extraordinarily beautiful. So people a lot of times will judge you when you walk into a room. Now, that doesn't happen all the time. It can cause you to start to misinterpret other females' actions, and it causes other women to reject you by default because you're so accustomed. You came out of a toxic background or, in a toxic community where you're so accustomed to women judging you. So by the time you come amongst healthy women, you automatically interpret their behavior as them judging you or them already, making a decision about you. And that's not always the case. Sometimes they're reading the room. Sometimes your energy, the way that you're coming, because you're already accustomed to that, you come into the room ready to be rejected. So consequently, you cause yourself to be rejected, right? You call yourself, hey, Sister Tiffany, how are you? You cause yourself to be rejected. Number three, you give up easily. It's very hard for you to follow anything all the way through. You give up easily. You're always ready to quit something. Whenever the pressures of life start dealing with you, whenever you start feeling scared, whenever you start feeling some type of way, you are always ready to give up because you don't want to deal with the pain of it. You don't want to deal with the frustration of it. So you quit easy. You give up. You leave your church. You get rid of your friends. You give up easily. If you start a project, if you're writing a book, you give up easily. You're always giving up. Number four, you reject others before they can reject you. You reject others before they can reject you. You start sensing whenever a person is about to walk away from you, or you think that you're sensing that they're about to walk away from you. So consequently, you end up you end up cursing or causing a relationship or sabotaging a relationship. Sorry, I got distracted. But you start sabotaging a relationship before it could completely end. So you reject others before they could reject you. Whenever you start feeling like it, something. And I'm not even talking about just entirely with relationships that you've already established, but you do this with people sometimes that you have not even established a relationship with, because you start feeling like they're rejecting you. You start feeling like they're not accepting you. They don't like you. So you go ahead and make it up in your mind. Well, I don't like you either. You go ahead and make it up in your mind. But you reject others before they can reject you. Number 5, you have imaginary relationships with people characterized by highs and lows. You have imaginary relationships with people that are characterized by highs and lows. Let me explain that. So you come across a guy, you like him, and then you start having a relationship with him in your head. And I'm talking about typically in a communal setting where you may see that same person time and time again. And so you may start developing a relationship with him mentally in your mind, whereas you may think he's the one. You may think he, could be somebody that's going to be important. So you start formulating these fantasies around him, these thoughts about him. You keep on formulating that stuff in your mind, and you start creating this beautiful story, which actually leads to disappointment. Because let's say it's a job. Every time you go to that job and you see him, you've created a one-sided soul tie. So every time you see him, you're kind of hoping that this is going to be the day that he finally approaches you. Hope he finally asks for your number. He finally does that, and it just doesn't happen. So what you do is you leave work oftentimes frustrated. You leave work disappointed or what have you, which could cause you to actually begin to reject him over a course of time, because now you're tired of him. You're getting tired of dealing with those emotions time and time again. So as a mechanism of self-protection, you just decide in your mind, I don't want him no more. So you start looking for error in him. You start looking for flaws in him so that you don't want him anymore, because it's putting a lot of weight on you emotionally. It's putting a lot of weight on you emotionally. You never form imaginary relationships with people. Never do it. It doesn't matter if a guy's flirting. It doesn't matter. Some people flirt because they want your attention. Nothing more. They don't want you. They want your attention. Never read too much into anything. Never read too much into anything. Always take it upon your time. Be kind, be friendly, or what have you. But I always tell this, and this is especially true for women. If a guy doesn't approach you, he's not interested, right? Even if he is interested, he's dealing with fear at that moment. You have to let him be. You got to let him be, because at that stage, he has to get beyond that. He has to get beyond that, because if you don't, then you're going to spend the rest of your life, every time he deals with fear, you're going to spend all that time always having to help him get over that hump. So you want to let him, he has to man it out. He has to push his way through that. But for the most part, in the majority of cases, the man is not interested. It's just something that you formulated in your mind. And then what you can do when you formulate something in your mind, I think somebody on here needs to hear this. When you formulated something in your mind, you can create a bunch of moments with a person that does not exist. And what that means is, let's say there's Tyrone on your job. Because you formulated in your mind that Tyrone likes you and you like Tyrone, Tyrone may not like you. Tyrone may be just somebody who, he may think you're cute, or he may have flirted with you, but you formulated that in your mind. So now you keep creating all these odd moments with Tyrone. Let's say y'all got a unisex bathroom. You're coming out the bathroom. He's coming in. And now you got to kind of move, and everything feels like a moment to you. Everything feels like a moment to you. And what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for a lot of heartache. Until Tyrone walks up to you, Tyrone does not exist other than him being your co-worker. Until Tyrone says anything, you have to be very mindful of what you put in your head. Who am I talking to? You got to be very mindful. It's okay to admit it, but you got to be very mindful of the thought processes that you have, because you can be in that setting with Tyrone, and then while you're in that setting with Tyrone, you keep on having all these little butterfly moments or what have you that are not existing. And Tyrone just thinks you're weird. He just thinks you're weird. He just thinks that, wow, okay, every time I pass by her, she's giggling. Every time I pass by her, she's acting a little bit strange. What have you? And then Tyrone starts comparing how you deal with him, how you interact with him, versus how you interact with other people. So what you're doing is we are creatures of imagination, and most women are relatively creative. This is why I tell you, go write the book. You're creative. You can create. So, okay, let's just say it this way. Why don't you take that love story that you created about Tyrone and write a book about it? Because the story doesn't exist, but it exists in your mind. Why don't you write a book about it? Why don't you, right? You create a bunch of awkward moments where things just become really awkward between. And I don't like awkwardness. I hate it. I hate when people do stuff and create awkward, because I'm just like, dude, please just be you. Just be yourself. Why you got to make things weird? But why don't you just write the book, or write a movie with it? Write a screenplay. Take what's going on in your mind. I'll say this and I'll move on. I think about this time when I went to, and I've told you guys this before. So I went to, I think it was Olive Garden. I was going out on my daddy-daughter dates. This is why I used to do all these daddy-daughter dates with the Lord. And I happened to see this guy there. And I'm just like any other single woman or what have you. And at this particular stage, I think I was like, okay, the husband will be here anytime now. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. This is like 2015. Hallelujah. But I'm going in a restaurant and I see this dude. And he's sitting outside and he happens to look like, he's looking for somebody who looks a little disappointed. And I started formulating this story in my head about how beautiful that would be. Because he was a good looking guy. I was like, how beautiful that would be. He out here waiting on his girl. I'm going to go up in here, and this is Olive Garden. They going to tell me that there's like a 30-minute to an hour wait. And then me and him going to end up talking. The girl's not going to show up, and he going to end up at my table. And then this big, beautiful love story will fall into place from there. So, and then that'll be our story for the years to come. Now, did I believe that? No, I just thought it was an interesting story. I've learned how to manage this right here. Because back in the day, I didn't know how to manage it just like most of you. I used to just let myself get lost in the fantasy. No. I thought to myself, you know what? That would be an interesting story. I haven't wrote it, but I thought to myself, that would be an interesting story. Y'all, ladies, I love you. Before I tell you that women can be a little bit crazy, I just need you to know that I love you, right? I need you to know that I'm your sister in Christ, right? And I need you to know a lot of times our minds, they're beautiful. We have beautiful minds. I can formulate a love story out of anything. I can formulate a love story out of anything because I know my mind can do that. I utilize that to write the book. I don't utilize that to create imaginary relationships with people. Now, I could do it, and my brain has tried to do that plenty of times, and as soon as it does, I pull it back. Because you got to hear me, sisters. This is what you have to do with your brain. Women have to play tug of war. You got to, I'm thinking about my pastor. He had to wrote today. Y'all need to go back and watch that. But we have to play tug of war with our minds, because our minds would go to the left. Our minds would go to the left. That's why Beyonce wrote that song, to the left, to the left. But our minds would go to the left quite easily. And as a female, you have to be willing, and you have to have enough knowledge and maturity for you to go back and get the rest of your brain. When your brain goes running off, y'all know what I'm talking about. When your mind go to running off, when your mind try to run off and start, it goes into this big old beautiful fantasy of butterflies and rose petals and wedding night and all of that. You got to go back and get yourself. You got to go. I'm talking to, see, some of y'all, you need to go pick up your brain right now. You left it. You know I'm talking to you. You know I'm talking to you. You need to go get your mind. Because if you don't, you're going to create a one-sided soul tie, and you're going to set yourself up for rejection all the more. So you reject others before they can reject you. Number 5 was you have imaginary relationships with people characterized by highs and lows. And when I say characterized by highs and lows, when you have imaginary relationships with people, you get mad at them. They don't know you're mad at them. You are happy with them. They don't. These folks. This is what makes us crazy. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all. Okay. So Tyrone sit up there, and maybe in the office, Tyrone goes in. Now Tyrone don't really know you exist besides saying hello to you, right? But Tyrone, there's this one girl at the office that likes Tyrone. She's real pretty, but you know what? She looks skanky. So she always running up in Tyrone's face. talking to Tyrone or what have you, and you just like this. Mm. So now Tyrone don't know why you walking around with a whole. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. You walking around with a whole attitude. You walking around with a whole attitude, and the bro don't know what he did. He just know you done flip. You know who? Y'all want to know y'all. You want to know why y'all quiet? Cause you guilty. Oh, tell me I'm lying. Now you walking around with a whole attitude, and now you talking about he ain't got no discernment. I ain't gonna. You know what? That's why I don't want to be with no man who got no. He can't even tell she ain't no but a skank. She be at every dude's face, and I don't want to be with nobody that ain't got no discernment. Just right, just pissed off, just ticked off, and you don't even realize at the end of the day, the man doesn't even realize that you exist. You have created something in here. Rarely are those stories real. Rarely. Occasionally, it could be something. But until he approaches you, it doesn't exist. See, I love the honest folks because I'm telling you, there are some people on here growling right now because they were just on Tyrone's profile before I went live, and they were just like, just don't even know that girl is skank. Girl come up to him and be like, Tyrone, take a picture with me. Now you won't speak to him for a whole week. You treat him like y'all in a relationship, and the bro don't even know that you exist besides seeing you in the workplace. So you're creating these imaginary relationships that are characterized by highs and lows. So one day you're happy with Tyrone, the next day you're not speaking to him. You got this weird workplace relationship with the dude, and the dude don't even know you exist. You got this weird, and the bro man is just walking around like, okay, she acting funny again. And if he's a patterns person like me, he'll start putting that stuff together. Hey, you crazy. You crazy. You get that stuff out of you. All right. Number 6, you are willing to dishonor God to be accepted by people. You can write in parentheses, people pleasing spirit. You're willing to dishonor God to be accepted by people. So if everybody around you is twerking, and you know God called you out of that lifestyle, you know that God called you, God's got you, living for him now, what have you. But you in the workplace, and everybody in the workplace seems to be, still relative, that they're still in the world or what have you. You're always trying to you're hiding your Christianity from them. You're hiding your faith. Remember, raise your hand if it's when I hit you in the stomach, just raise your hand. But you are willing to dishonor God to be accepted by people. You're always trying to hide your relationship with God. Remember, God said, Jesus said, if you are ashamed to own me before man, I will be ashamed to own you before my Father, which is in heaven. Now, you may say, I'm not ashamed. I've mentioned him a couple of times. No, you're ashamed to own him because you don't demonstrate the fact that you're Christian and that you don't accept what they believe in because you are afraid of them rejecting you. Part of the lifestyle of the Christian is being rejected. And this is something we have to normalize and become okay with. It's not a good feeling, but you have to learn to get over the emotional aspect of it. Once you get over the emotional aspect of it, hear me when I tell you, there is nothing that can hold you back. Once you get past that emotional aspect, now I do understand it hurts. I do understand it is frustrating. I do understand we were not wired for that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We have to deal with it, especially if you are anointed. When you are anointed to preach the gospel, you have to acclimate yourself with rejection. And don't think that, well, I'm anointed, I'm going to get around Christians, I should be going. No, you're going to get most of your rejection from Christians. You'll get most of your rejection from Christians who are not willing to sanctify themselves. You'll get most of your rejection from Christians. And so that's the thing. You have to acclimate yourself to that to the point where it no longer has power over you. Meaning you can walk into a space knowing that you're going to be rejected and you don't take it personal. You don't take it personal. You understand that this is kingdom. It ain't personal. Somebody write that in the chat. It's kingdom. It's not personal. It's kingdom. It's not personal. Number seven, y'all ready? Remember, if you're guilty, raise your hand. This is how you get free. Y'all ready? I'm just gonna ask you. You ready? You sure? You practice fornication. Just vomit it out. It's okay. Vomit it out. You practice fornication. You know why you're afraid to date with your clothes on? Because you're afraid of being rejected. And you don't even realize that the people that God, the okay, let me tell you why I refuse to get into fornication. Let me tell you why. One, I love God and I fear God. I've already had my taste of that. I saw what that bought me. I ain't trying to go back there. But two, I have a different perspective. I don't want to block the right one with the wrong one. I don't want to block the right one with the wrong one. Because, see, the wrong one can't wait. The wrong one ain't going to be trying to have a relationship that doesn't involve sex. I don't want to block. Because I wish you understood there's levels of revelation. And what God has given me, what the revelation He's given me about a kingdom relationship is that it's a place of safety. Y'all don't even realize how much you need safety. You gotta have safety. We sacrifice safety for comfort, not realizing that when you don't have safety, you're not going to be secure, which is going to cause you to become insecure, which is going to cause you to become fearful and clingy. You will have a tormenting, chaotic relationship because you allow somebody to come along and say, well, I don't know if I can have a relationship without sex. Y'all, this is going to be a message of passion. I'm going to tell you that. Because this is my heart's desire. This is what I had to get broken off of my life. This is what almost destroyed my life. This is what almost took me out, was generational fornication, not knowing how to be single and not knowing how to date with my clothes on. And it wasn't even the dude half of the time. Most of the time it was me coming on him. I can't even say, because it was, matter of fact, I had a trigger. I didn't like men to touch me. It was me. I had to be the initiator. I had to be the instigator. I had to be the instigator. And that came from childhood trauma. I had to be the instigator. I had to be the one that came to come on him. Because it made me feel like I was in control. It made me feel like I was powerful. He could not touch me. I had to touch him. If he touched me, I had a reaction. I would go flat off. I would cuss and scream because that was PTSD on my part from childhood sexual trauma that I had dealt with. I had to get healed from that. And that was the thing. But these are symptoms of rejection. You don't know how to date with your clothes on because you're afraid that if you don't have sex with this dude, you don't have sex with this girl, that you're going to be rejected. And then when they walk away from you, you end up dealing with the rejection anyhow, right? And it's far greater than what it would have been. It would have been easier for me to give my phone number to a dude, talk to him, have him tell me, I don't think I could deal with the sex outside. I don't think I can not, because some guys will sit up there. Now they'll act like they can go along with it or what have you, but they'll get kind of knee deep in a relationship and then they'll try you. Bro, we're not having sex. I'm sorry. And then next thing you know, they'll try to break up with you or what have you, or they'll threaten to break up with you because they're trying to test the strength of the soul tie. And if you give in, if you don't give in, a lot of times they'll go ahead and abandon the relationship. I would much rather that happen than for me to get sexually involved with somebody. Because I need you to hear me when I say this, that trauma is far worse. Somebody rejecting me because I won't sleep with him is probably not going to hurt my feelings too much. It's going to be an hour. It's not that big of a deal because chances are he wasted my time. I wasted his time. But you know what? I'm going to pull some revelation out of it. I'm going to pull something out of it. But you're afraid. The Bible says, James 4:7, submit yourself to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And let me just submit this to you. When you don't submit yourself to God and you don't resist the devil will stay with you. And even if the devil is in that man or that woman that you're sleeping with, that demon that would have been cast out of your life through you obeying God now has a legal right to be in your life. And then the next thing you know, that demon gonna get on his knee and say, will you marry me? and you find yourself in a relationship with a whole demon wrapped in beautiful flesh. I'm telling you, I've been there. You find yourself in a relationship with a demon that's wrapped in some real pretty flesh, and then you're frustrated because you keep trying to take the dude through deliverance because you like, he too cute to go to hell, God. He's salvageable. There's got to. I did hear him say Jesus. Right? It's self-inflicted trauma. You practice fornication. You're not willing to put your body on the altar because you're afraid of what that's going to look like. Well, what if he doesn't want me, Sister Tiffany? What if I did what you said do? What if I decreed, a life of abstinence and all of that? What if I did that? I really like this guy, Tiffany. I don't think he would go and he would be with me without fornication. Then he ain't the one. No amount of sexing him up and whatever you're going to do to him is going to make him turn into the one. Somebody needed to hear that. No amount of that. Y'all, we're living in a time where God is going to raise up people like me who went on the wrong end of the desert. And we had to go into the darkness to get the revelation and come out and bring it to you so that you don't go into it. I had to make the mistake so that you didn't make it. Now, I'm not saying that God brought me to the mistake. I'm not saying that God wanted me to make the mistake. I'm saying that he can use the mistake. He can use the mistake. He had to use my mistakes. He had to use my mistake. He when he brought me out, he said, I can use everything that you've been through. I can use all of that trauma. I can use it. Go warn my people. And I come out here and I warn you because I was that person that thought I could save a dude. I don't think like that nowadays. I genuinely don't believe that. I was that person who felt like, oh, he just need a little tender loving care. His mama did this and that person did that or what have you. You practice fornication. You will never get the right guy by doing the wrong thing. You will never get the right person by doing the wrong thing. It just doesn't happen. You just create a legality for somebody to stay in your life that shouldn't have been there. Number 8, you look up to people who are not aligned with God. Why would you look up to somebody who's not saved or somebody who is double-minded, someone who's not fully surrendered to God, but you look up to these type of people? You look up to them. You look at them and you be like, she's so cute. Girl, yes, ma'am. Did you see her? That girl, I'm telling you, that girl can twerk. She can make that left booty muscle. She got some real muscles in there. That left booty cheek. The way she be popping that thing, girl. She got to give me some lessons. She got to give me some lessons. You have to stop looking up to the wicked. The Bible talks about that. You have to stop looking up to people like that because whoever you look up to is what you're going to grow into. Whoever you look up to, I'm very mindful. I'm very careful about who I put in my sights to look up to. I'm very careful of who I look at. Matter of fact, I don't even watch the world celebrities. I don't look up to them. I don't look up to them. I thank God for delivering me from that system because what he wanted me to do, he didn't want me to look at that system and look and say, oh, I want to be like this or what have you. I'm very mindful because I understand that every human being is impressionable anytime you come in contact with somebody who has a higher rank with you, whether it be spiritually, emotionally, financially, or what have you. You are easily impressed in an area where you are lacking. You are easily oppressed in an area where you're lacking. So consequently, you will look at the wicked, at their unrighteous mammon. For example, you may see a woman who's financially stable, seems to have it going on, hair always nice, and she drive a nice little red convertible. Every time you see her, she walking around, she popping them hips, and she have the finest men or what have you, but she's not right with God. She's not saved. But you look up to her because she wears her pain well. She wears her pain well. She knows how to be hurt. Y'all know we know women like this. She knows how to be hurt. So whenever she gets hurt, she pops back. I'm talking about the girl. The girl got it going on. And you look up to that. That's what you're going to become. If you don't stop looking up to her, that's what you're going to become. I had to learn. And this is what you ask yourself. And this is a challenge for you. What do I want? Then find somebody who embodies that in Christ and look up to them. If you want to be married, find somebody, for example, who's married. They got a healthy, good, godly relationship. Maybe they've been married 30, 40 years. They've been married 30, 40 years. I've literally come in contact with women who've told me, Tiffany, I've been married twice. And, back in my young days when I was doing stupid stuff or what have you, the first one did this. And they pretty much will tell my story. And they're like, I'm married now. But this is the one that God bought. And we've been married 12 years. We've been married 15 years. And this man loves the Lord. Tiffany, he's my best friend. Tiffany, this man treats me like gold. I look up to that. Because I can say, well, that's gonna be my story. I'm not gonna look up to somebody who looking at their husband like this. Girl, I'm gonna go home and increase his life insurance policy because he gonna have to kick the bucket. I'm sorry. He gonna have to kick somebody's bucket. And he gonna have to kick it all the way over because I can't do this. We got about $100,000 insurance policy. I'm gonna see if I can kick it up to $1 million. No, this stuff I went through with this dude here. I don't look up to people like that. People that don't seem to be like where there's no trust, no. You got to know what you want. Where there's no, I don't want to even say compatibility. Unity is the word I'm looking for. Because everybody's marriage is different. So it's not to say that everybody's marriage is bad because I don't want it. But it is to say I can look at somebody's marriage and say, y'all cool. I don't want that. I don't necessarily want that because I want me and my hubby to be best friends. I want us to be close. I want us to be best friends. I want us to be relatable. There are some things I just don't want in a marriage. There are certain things, or what have you. But what was I? You look up to people who are not aligned with God. Now we are multidimensional creatures, so they can be aligned with God in certain areas, but out of alignment with Him in other areas. You need to pay attention to what you are looking up to in a person. What part of them are you aligning yourself with? Are you admiring them in? These are symptoms that you deal with the spirit of rejection. Number 9, you're an underachiever. You dim your light to impress or to make others feel safe. You're an underachiever. You come in contact with people, you don't let them know that you're smart, that you are. So you'll just play the damsel in distress. You'll play the dummy. You'll play that role because you're accustomed to that role and you really don't feel like dealing with the backlash of it. You really don't feel like dealing with the backlash of it. You know how many people do that? Not just women, men. You know how many people do that? They dim their lights because sometimes you can come in contact with people who are flamboyantly dumb. Meaning they're over the top with it. They'll talk like they know everything. They be like, girl, I'm trying to tell you, the equator of Ethiopia is Germany. Well, no, it's not. We're dealing with the equator of the earth. The earth has an equator, right? And the earth has an equator, but Ethiopia does not. Now, if you're talking about the middle of it, you may be talking about a country. And in that case, they're not even on the same continent. But somebody who is flamboyantly dumb, a lot of times they are just over the top and they're loud, they're emotional. So a lot of times you dim your light around them because you really don't feel like dealing with the emotional abuse. You're just like, yeah. And they're like, girl, like I was telling them, the equator of Germany is Ethiopia. And I was there, I'm flying there next week. I hope you got a tour guide. I hope you got a tour guide because I don't know if we're going to see you again. Girl, I met a guy online and, he told me that he is heir to the throne. He's going to be the king over Africa. Really? Yeah, girl, I can't believe it. He's going to be the king over Africa. Which country? Africa. No, what country in Africa? Africa. Africa is a country. No, it's not. It's a continent. But a lot of times with them, you just kind of just sit there like, the whole continent. That what you said. He said he's going to be the king over where, he ain't got no profile picture because, because he's a king. he got to be very careful or what have you. But he want me to get my plane ticket to come down there. You about to be sex trafficked, girl. You about to be dead, sex trafficked or something. You gonna have, you know what? Safe travels. Safe travels. Yeah, I'm about to be queen. All these folks over here that try to talk about me, they gonna be crazy. They gonna be looking crazy when I show up with my crown on my head. Yeah, it's gonna be a crown, all right. It's gonna be called a tombstone. It's gonna be called a tombstone if somebody don't come grab your tail and try to give you some sense. All right, you're an underachiever. You tend to dim your own light for other people. You tend to dim your own light. Please hear me when I say this. That's common. People are a lot of times intimidated by gifts and anointings and stuff like that. But when you put your stuff on display, it is designed to cause the right people to gravitate towards you. So catch this. Maybe you dealt with rejection and you don't have the community, the friendship and the relationships that you need to have, that you want to have, because what is designed to cause people to be attracted to you, you keep dimming it. So consequently, the people who are hanging around you, they're there because you dimmed your light. But if I turn my light on, I can sit there and watch everybody run and get away from me and talk about me and reject me and deal with that. But then I'm going to come in contact with other people who are like me. And now I have my community. That is to say, don't hide your light trying to impress other people. You have to come right out and just let people know, hey, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm not going to apologize for being anointed. I'm not going to apologize for being blessed. I'm not going to apologize for being multidimensional, multi-talented. I'm not arrogant. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. If you know the hell I went through, you shut up. So mind your business. Go do what you're going to do, because for me, I'm going to do what God told me to do, because my goal is to drive you away. So if you can't handle that, I'm not going to sit up here and hide and dim my light just to keep you close. Now I can't even talk about the good things that God is doing in my life, because I got to worry about your feelings. The devil is a cockeyed lie. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to display. God gave me another book, y'all. God gave me an invention idea, y'all. God is going to do this for me. God is going to do that. He's done this for me. He's done that for me. Oh my goodness. God has brought this. God has brought that into my life. Hallelujah. I'm going to let my light shine before men so that they can glorify my God, which is in heaven. If you can't glorify him because of what he's doing in my life, are you even saved? That's my question. Are you saved? Are you even saved? Because I don't know anybody whose life that I can sit up there and be like, so another book. Girl. No. Every person in my life, I'm like, oh, congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Oh, God bless you. Oh, my goodness. I got some crazy good anointed friends in my life. Oh, my goodness. All right. Let's move on. You look up to people who are not aligned with God. Number 9 was you are an underachiever. You dim your light so that you could be accepted. Number 10, you're an overachiever, but it amounts to nothing. You're an overachiever, but it amounts to nothing. Meaning you go out and you do the most, but it doesn't amount to anything. You sit back and, now I was doing a lesson on this yesterday. I canceled it out. I didn't finish it, but I was doing a lesson on this this statement that I call it hogwash, where people say, don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. I call it hogwash because honestly, that statement has always frustrated me. It's always aggravated me, because I'm a multidimensional creature, meaning I'm multi-talented. I do quite a bit of things, and not all of them are related. And I've had people to use that statement to try to control me. Now, not everybody who uses that statement is trying to control people, but most of the times it's used out of context, and it's typically used by people who have one talent trying to control people who have 5 talents. Remember the parable of the talents in the Bible. There was one guy who had 5 talents, one who had 2, and another had 1. The unfaithful servant had 1 talent, went and buried his talent. And so nowadays, over the course of this earth, you find a lot of people who have 1 talent, And the people who have one talent typically are the loudest, and they set the culture. Many times they will complain and whine, and they will come up with those type of statements. Now, it can be used in a proper context, because there are people out there who do start stuff and they don't finish it. They're always starting these things or what have you, but rarely is it used in the right context. Most of the times it's used to control people. Most of the times it's used to stop people from it's a competitive spirit. And most of the times it's people like, you wrote another one. Whatever happened to your book of boundaries? You didn't even promote that one all that good. Yeah, you're right. I got to come back and promote it at some point. But yeah, I'm gonna release another one. I'm just saying, you be trying to do the most. You be trying to do the most, but that's competition. There's nothing wrong with being an overachiever if God is backing you. For me, I would say I'm an achiever, and some people may even say an overachiever, but it's not from rejection. And I've had people to assume, I can honestly tell you, there are people that think that it is with me. But mine is not from rejection. It is from a place of gratitude. And it's me playing with, to me, my gifts are almost like toys. And that can signify that I can be relatively immature in that area. But my gifts are like toys. I'm playing with them to see what I can do. I'm like, ooh, I can do that. Ooh, I'm going to put that out on the market. I literally, and this is something that I literally, like when I create something, even card games, y'all know I don't market this stuff a whole lot. I don't do this stuff for the money. The money part is a bonus. I actually do it because I'm trying to see my potential. I like touching my potential. I like seeing it come out. I like being like, oh my goodness, I did this. That right there is for me. But the type of overachiever I'm talking about is people who do a lot of stuff just because you want people to say good job. You want people to accept you. You want to prove that you're not stupid. You want people to finally look at you and see that you're worth something. And so you overachieve when you're always out here doing this and you're always out here doing that in an attempt to be accepted. So that's the type of overachiever I'm talking about. Number 11, you're always comparing yourself to others. You're always comparing yourself to others. I just don't understand. I look better than her. Why? How she get a man before I did? He want to be with her. How she gonna write another book? It probably ain't worth nothing. You're always comparing yourself to others. Y'all, that is torment. That is a spirit of torment. That is a spirit of torment. That is a tormenting spirit. That thing will eat you alive. You can't do that to yourself. I want you to hear me on that. It's a decision that you make. The temptation is there, but you get to make a decision behind the temptation. Never compare yourself, your journey, your anointing, your grace, your face, your body to another human being's. One of the things, for example, like what's popular nowadays, because we live in a culture of self-comparison, of comparison, but not self-comparison, but comparison, of competition, of jealousy. One of the things that's relatively popular nowadays, for example, is Brazilian butt lifts. You got a lot of women who are comparing themselves to other women, and they're like, I wish my body looked like that. And they think that, okay, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it with my chest and it's going to take some people off, but I love you enough to set you free. Most of the people who go get Brazilian butt lifts wrestle with the spirit of rejection. I would dare to say 98, 99% of them. Thank you, Sister Erica. God bless you. 98, 90, I will say, I can be nice to say 95%, but I don't think it's that. I think it's a far greater, because you are comparing yourself, your body, to somebody else, because you believe that if your body looked a lot better, your results would be better. You believe that if I had a bigger butt and a smaller waistline, I would be married by now. I would get more attention. And I think I'm an amazing person on the inside, but nobody ever gives me the opportunity because I don't have the deaf body that's popular. So if I had the deaf body, maybe somebody will listen to me. If I had the deaf body, some guy would come along and be like, dang, I should have. Thank you, Sister Erica. God bless you. I should have got to know you a lot sooner. Your body was carefully created by God, carefully constructed by God. Now, it may have been messed up by you, because I can tell you I did some stuff to mine. I got to get it together because I'm already thinking about where I'm going to go eat it. But we mess up our own bodies, but God created your body. Understand this. Get yourself healthy. Get in shape. Do all of that stuff. But don't beat yourself up trying to make yourself fit into somebody's idea of you. Now, I'm not saying in any way that you need to stay the way that you are if you are unhealthy. You do need to get yourself together, but do it for you. Do it for you. Where was I? You're always comparing yourself to others. Thank you, Sister Cynthia. God bless you. You're never happy with yourself. This is a form of self abuse. This is a form of self abuse. You are abusing yourself by looking at other people and saying, she has some pretty brown eyes. I think I'm going to get brown contacts. She got beautiful hair. You know what? I'm going to go get me a nice lace front, and I want it long. I want it to be about 3 inches longer than her hair. Oh, she got some pretty long eyelashes. All this stuff comes from comparison. Y'all do know that, right? A lot of the stuff that we do to our faces and stuff like that, when we do to our beauty, it's from comparing ourselves. I wish I had long hair like hers. I wish I had baby hair like hers. Her hair just lay naturally down and looks so pretty. I wish my eyes were brown like hers. I wish my waistline was small like hers. I wish my lips were plump like hers. I wish my lips were small like hers. I wish my nose was smaller. So you know what? Let me put that little thing down the center and try to make my nose look small. I wish that my eyes were a little bit more slanted. So let me look into some surgeries. Let me look into something that's going to make me feel beautiful, because I think that if I'm beautiful enough, then I'll be accepted. Acceptance is not the cure for rejection. And being accepted by the wrong people is setting yourself up a high level of rejection. Because then now God has to take you through deliverance from those people. And by the time he comes and gets you, by the time he takes you through deliverance from them, you form soul ties with them. You've made investments in them. You probably even had babies with them. And now you got to deal with the hurt behind that. So I'm telling you, don't go out here busting your body up, trying to get yourself into a spot to be accepted by folks that God didn't call to you anyhow. I don't have the body that I want or the body that's popularized, but I ain't killing myself trying to get it. Now, I plan to get in the gym. That is something that has been on my list. I plan to get myself a nutritionist. I plan to do some of the things that I know that needs to be done. But as far as me coming out here and being like, okay, so if this was a little bit smaller, I'm not down on nobody's surgery table trying to get myself to that spot. I'm not putting myself in any type of physical, because y'all, a lot of this stuff you got to understand. And I know I'm just taking a break here, but this stuff is not tested. You don't even know how this is going to affect you when you get older. Somebody need to hear that. I don't think that, honestly, those Brazilian butt lifts, I don't think they're going to carry over into old age. I think a lot of those women are going to be doing, y'all, it's going to be commercials coming on the television. If you got a Brazilian butt lift between the years of 2018 and 2045, call this number on your screen. You may be entitled to compensation if you're still alive. And by the time you're old, you're going to realize how asinine that it was for that. You're going to realize, I sat up here, put this butt on, and I ended up with a man for real, a whole narcissist. I ended up with a whole narcissist. Y'all, let me tell you something before I move on to the next one. I don't mean this to sound arrogant. I've been married twice to the wrong people. I was in the world. I'm going to give them this. Both of them were good looking guys. And I ain't talking about, that personal thing where a woman will say her man good looking when he really looked like he escaped a Shark Tank within an inch of his life. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they were fine. They were really good looking guys. They were really handsome to look at. Why do I say that? I've seen pictures. I think I only seen the second one. I think I've seen some of his exes. I wasn't the best looking woman they were with. They had been with. I always tell people that men don't marry the best looking woman they've been with. Y'all got to stop comparing yourselves. Y'all got to stop comparing yourselves. I'm probably, and when I say this, I always almost feel arrogant, but I'm just being honest. I've been proposed to more times than most women. And the first time I almost got married, if you can go on a scale of 1 to 10, he was a 12. When I found out he was, I ended it. Now, I could have been like most women, been like, oh, he's too fine to let go. I met this dude in the workplace. He didn't work with me. He was in there shopping. The women were calling him out, talking about how fine he was. Everybody was flirting. I happened to be the one walk my little happy tail over there. We were engaged to get married. But I came to realize that marrying him meant that while you were gonna have that fine man, you're gonna be able to show him off to the world. You weren't gonna have him to yourself. And I don't want no thought. I'm just sorry. I'm not one that shares. I'm not one of those women that I'm not that old woman that be like, it's all right, Ebenezer gonna get it. I'm trying to tell you. He was with that little floozy last week, and that's the Lord told me not to touch him. Yep, he's in quarantine right now. He up in the room burning. He got COVID and he got crabs, and it ain't been nice because every time he cough, the crabs start coughing too. They just been eating them up in there. We don't know what to do. He been begging us to play. He keep telling me to have the doctor to pull the plug, and now I just told him you gonna have to live with it. I got to get rid of that bed because the dude up in there I'm talking about, and they don't even know if he got other diseases because they trying to get around the crabs. He got an aggressive, it's been real aggressive, but he coughing up in there, and I locked him in the room. I don't even know if it's legal. I locked him in there because I don't trust him coming out. I don't want him dropping them things. Do they even get on the floor or something? I don't need them. I don't even let the dog near him, baby. I just locked him up in that room. There's a bathroom up in there. I throw food through the window because I'm not trying to deal with that. He be looking out the window and all that. He looked like he losing his mind. But, I told him he shouldn't have slept with that old floozy. But now it's all right. Now he itching and he coughing and he losing his mind. He don't know what to do. He don't know what to do. But it's all right. It's all right. But how you doing? How's your mama doing, baby? I don't want that story. I don't want that story. I refuse to have that story. I refuse to be with a thought. I refuse it. I refuse it. I refuse it. I refuse to be with a male whore. I refuse it. I refuse to be with her. I refuse. I refuse. He said that's a pretty bad COVID and crabs, right? COVID and crabs, and now the doctor talking about he got hemorrhoids. The boy can't catch a break for nothing. I told him now, yep, I can't even go in there to take him through deliverance because I ain't trying to let him. Everything he got is contagious except for the hemorrhoids, and they could be. I don't know the child. I tried to do deliverance on him through the door, but he was growling, so I didn't just left him up in that room, and I'm just hoping he alive. I haven't heard much of anything from him today. We're gonna slide his tray under the door, throw it through the window. But baby, I'm telling you, I ain't wasting my time. I'm just not wasting my time. Yeah, he in there. We had to take everything out the room. He don't have sheets in there because he keep trying to off himself, and I'm just telling him, Ebenezer, is this really how you want to die? This is what you want because I'm gonna put it on your. I'm gonna put it on your what do you call that? What do you call that when they dye the paper? The pamphlet. What is that called again? What is that called again? It's on the tip of my tongue. The pamphlet where they die. What is that called again? Yeah, I gotta stop laughing enough just to. What was it called again? Obituary. Thank you. Thank you. Obituary. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ebenezer, do you want me to put, because I'm going to put it on your obituary that he died from COVID and crabs and he had a case of blazing hemorrhoids. If that's what you want on your obituary, that's what we're going to get on your obituary. I'm just asking you to go up in that room and let the doctors treat you because they're going to come back over here tomorrow. They're going to, and stop trying to kill yourself. Ain't nothing in there for you to kill yourself with. Ain't nothing. You're only going to make it worse. That's it. He went up in there, called himself and trying to overdose on Flintstone vitamins. And now he got a bad case of diarrhea on top of it all. The boy can't catch a break. And the doctor said it's going to be like a week of that explosive diarrhea. It just tormented. We're going to pray for him. Y'all pray for Ebenezer. All right. Number 12. You feel rejected if you are not acknowledged by certain people. You feel rejected if you're not acknowledged by certain people. Now, typically when people deal with rejection, they don't mind certain people not acknowledging them. They really don't give three rats feathers. You can walk by them, they really don't care. But it's certain people that you feel like on your job, in your church, or what have you, the leadership, if you feel like they didn't speak to you, the Ebenezer, Tyrone, whoever, if they don't speak to you, you end up dealing, and that can actually determine the temperature of your day. So if that person doesn't speak to you, you end up having a bad day. You end up not being happy that day. You end up being frustrated that day. You end up being depressed that day. You end up being angry that day simply because that person did not greet you. That person did not speak to you. You got to stop doing that. You got to stop doing that. Remember, raise your hand if that's you. Raise that your hand is that you. You have certain people that you look to greet you, and that determines how your day is going to go. You can't do that to yourself. You're tormenting yourself. I'm telling you, I'm showing you so that you know you're not alone in this, so that you can stop tormenting yourself. Certain people, if they you like laughing too hard talking about the crab, but certain people, if they don't reach you, and when sometimes people realize they have that power over you, they will utilize that. That's why I don't give people power over me like that. I don't allow people, like, whether you speak to me or not, to determine whether or not I'm going to have a good day or a bad day, because I've learned that people can take power when they realize they have that type of power in your life. Sometimes people can use that to control you. So you have a tendency, whenever you're in a space, if certain people that don't speak to you, you end up feeling some type of way. You end up feeling rejected if you're not acknowledged by them. Number 13, number 13, number 13, you got to make sure you like and you got to share. You love too hard. These are symptoms of rejection. You love too hard. And y'all know what I've said about this. I've said it 1,000 times. I've said it with my chest every time. There's really no such thing as loving hard. It just means loving wrong, but you call it loving hard. Meaning, whenever you love people, you really give them the wholeness of who you are. Consequently, you deal with a lot of heartbreak with people. You deal with a lot of disappointment with people. You're always afraid. Like, you love people, you're always afraid that they're not going to love you back. You're always afraid that they're going to reject you. You're always afraid. You put so much in. Like, you go in with blazing guns. You go in with everything that you got. And consequently, whenever you get hurt, it hurts like heck. Whenever you get rejected, it hurts bad. It hurts worse than it should have hurt. Because sometimes you haven't even formulated a relationship with people. Nevertheless, you haven't even formulated a relationship with them, but you feel hurt. Even outside of a relationship, you begin to invest. You invest time. You're trying to make people happy. You're trying to please them. You invest, and then when you get in a relationship, understand this. That is a sign of rejection, because you're transactional. When you get into a relationship, the person does one small thing for you and you feel like you owe them the world. He take you out to eat. Now you like, I can't believe he took me out to Root Chris. He took me to Root Chris Steakhouse. That's expensive. He took me to Root Chris. I got a book on deliverance that is going to be coming out. It's really on dealing with demonic residue. And that book is really thick, and I got to go ahead and close it out. But I talked about, going to Root Chris. I've only been to Root Chris. I've been there 2 times, but I've been there with a sister in Christ of mine. But I've been there 2 times, and what have you. But I talked about in the book a incident, and this is unrelated, that we had the first time we went to Root Chris, where this is before I knew I was called to the ministry of deliverance, where we had this waitress to come up to us, and she kept telling us we had this beautiful aura. And I was like, uh-oh. And so long story short, what ended up happening, she was like, I saw your aura. And she started telling us she played with chakras and all that. And I was like, okay. So somehow, she asked us what we did. The sister in Christ, when I was, talking to her, she was like, she told her what she did. And, she was a huge success. She did a lot of stuff. And when I told her what I did, she was just like, oh, wow, you guys are doing a lot. What have you? And I'm like, yeah, we cool. But the sister in Christ, she was like, oh, she's being humble. She's a minister. She's this. And she was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. This is when I lived in Florida. She was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. So the girl kind of humbled herself and she said, she started telling me about some problem that she had. I don't remember what it was, but it was a lot of demonic activity. And I told her, I said, that's because you've been playing with those chakras. And she was like, really? So I started talking to her and I started telling her that it was witchcraft. And, I started, we were kind of what have you. And I just remember the girl began to manifest. And I didn't know that I was in deliverance then, but that I was called to deliverance then. But she started doing this right here. And then she said, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. She said, I'm getting chills all over my body. I'm getting chills. And then she started kind of jerking a little bit and what have you. She was like, yeah. She said, I don't know why. I just feel like terror. I feel terror all over me. But those spirits were beginning, man. That was totally unrelated. But when I said Ruth Chris, that's a story that I thought about was that, and she asked us to pray for her. We prayed for her. And I do believe she got a level of freedom, even though we didn't necessarily cast the demon out. I got that in the chapter that I call Strange Deliverance. I was talking about strange deliverances that occur. But where it was, you love too hard. That was number 13. You love too hard. You go into relationships, you go in too fast, and you go and you put too much in. Somebody does something nice. As a female, I understand why we had to have the father figure. I understand why the man had to date the father figure, because women are wired. Women typically are transactional. So a lot of times with a woman, like if a guy takes us out to eat, he does anything great for us, a lot of times we feel like, wow, I really feel like I want to do something in return for him. I feel like I don't want to feel like I don't want him to think I'm using him. Raise your hand if that's you. I don't want him to feel like I'm using him. Now, he just took me to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I'm going to take him out next week. I'm going to take him to an expensive restaurant. I'm going to do something for him because he did something for me. I'm going to give you a little bit of revelation from this. The man is a stronger vessel. The woman is a weaker vessel, according to the word. Understand this. When a man makes an investment in a woman, he's literally, I want you to catch this. I wish I had some, I don't even have any cash on me, but he's taking the value of his time and putting it into you. I'm going to explain it this way. Now, ladies, I need you to catch this. I need you to catch this, and I need you to catch it good. I need you to tune in. If you're away from your computer listening, you need to come and stare at this screen. The money that a man gets come from his time. Everything, the commodity, the currency that we have is our time. We exchange our time for money. The job that we have turns around and gives us money. Wherever a person places their money is what they value. They're placing value in that thing. So they're transferring the value of their time, because it goes all the way back to their time, their blood, their sweat, their tears, and their discipline. They're transferring the value of that time, the value of that money into you. When you then turn around and try to even it out or outdo him, you are returning the value. You got to catch this. You're not allowing him to value you. They understood this in the old days. Young generation don't understand this because we're too busy trying to be reciprocal. Don't worry, I'm going to give some balance to this for those of you who are like, well, ain't the woman supposed to do something too? Don't worry, I got you. What you're literally doing in that moment is it's like he's saying, here's a phone, iPhone 12. This is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. iPhone 12 Pro Max, gift to you. Wow, thank you so much. Whoa. I'm going to give you the iPhone 13 Pro Max. He's like, whoa. So now what you're doing is you're creating a partnership where now you're taming his brain to see it as equal. This is the mistake you make with your kids. Whenever you buy something for one kid, you feel like you need to do it for the other kid, and it wasn't supposed to be like that. So now both of your children deal with entitlement. You took her and bought her a new dress. She's going to her prom. It is time for her prom. You're 8 years old. When it's your turn, you will get a prom dress. Right now, I'm getting a prom dress for her. Go sit down. I'm not going to go buy you a princess dress and cause you to think that the world is like that. No, it's not balanced like that. See, we create competition in our own children. We feed that spirit, and then we wonder why they have sibling rivalry, why they can't get along with each other. When it's as simple as this, hey, listen, your sister's 4 years older than you. So there are going to be certain things that she get that you don't get. There are going to be certain things that you get because you came up in a different stage that she didn't get, because it's available to you now and it wasn't available when she was a child. So I don't need y'all to act up. You're putting that same system on that man. You're putting that same system on that man. So now when you get in a marriage, he's talking about 50-50, because that's what you've been doing the first time. And when a man says 50-50, he means 70-30. You created a partnership. You did not allow yourself, because it required you to humble yourself. And you're so used to being masculine, it doesn't feel good. It feels you're uncomfortable with the idea of somebody trying to do something for you. You're transactional. So every time a man does something for you, you feel like you got to do something on that level or outdo him. And if you don't have something to give back in return, you're going to give him your body. Well, dang. He bought me an iPhone 12. Nah, the Lord bought me this on. Ain't no man bought me nothing. I ain't got nothing in here that a man just bought me. But he bought me this. Oh my gosh, he bought this for me. I can't believe it. And if you don't have enough money to give him, if you don't have enough money to buy him something equal, you'll be like, I'm taking you out this weekend. Then when you get out, the devil gonna come in your mind and say, he bought you a whole iPhone 12. You know that cost this much money. And now you're just going to take him out and get him a chicken finger dinner. Girl, you better get that man some. Now you feel like you got to give him something. So you know what you're going to do? You're going to give him your body. You know what God took me on a journey of doing? And I've said this, and this is why I have my students, and that's the prep. I've had them right now. I wish I could show y'all the pictures. They've had to go on a daddy-daughter date with the Lord. They had to go on a daddy-daughter date where they go to a restaurant, go to someplace nice, and get dressed up for God, and just take, because what God was breaking off of my life was that spirit of transactionalism. He was breaking that off of my life, where he wanted me to go out and do for myself what I once used to relegate to a man. The responsibility that I felt like a man was supposed to do for me, God wanted me to do that for myself. Thank you, Sister Debs. God bless you. That's the challenge I'm giving to y'all. You got to learn to do for yourself what you want a man to do for you. God had me to start buying myself name brand purses. I started when I was a young girl. I bought myself a couple of Doonies or what have you. But then somehow I fell off. And especially once I got married and stuff like that, I kind of fell off of that stuff. I started kind of expecting the man to do that. Stop that. Stop that. You got to do that for yourself. Do that for yourself and let the man do. But understand this. When a man is trying to do something for you, let him, and then deal with the emotion that you feel. Get over the emotion. If he wants to do something for you, if he wants to buy something, he's transferring the value of his time into you, which makes you more valuable to him. You got to hear that. That makes you more valuable to him. But if you take the value and give it back to him, then he becomes more valuable to you. You're not allowing him to value you. You're not allowing him to transfer his blood, sweat, and tears into you, because you think that you have to prove to him that I'm not trying to use you. I'm not trying to use you. Told y'all, an older woman called me and my friend girl, an old friend back when I was younger. Her grandma happened to hear us outside talking. I called myself having a little boyfriend, and my boyfriend was trying to do all this nice stuff for me. And I was trying to prove to him that I'm not a user. I really like you. And I wouldn't let him. And I remember she came out the house. She overheard us. She came out there. She said, when a man is trying to do something for y'all, let him. Because he's trying, that's what makes him feel like a man. And when you stop him from doing something for, or you try to, when you stop him from doing something for you, you're castrating him. I was like, ow. She was like, you're castrating him, because that's what he's been taught. That's what makes him feel like a man. When you take that from him, you're castrating him. When you're too busy trying to outgive him, it's okay. No, it's okay. I bought you a suit. Now, this isn't to say you'll never do something for a guy. It's not to say that when you get into a relationship, you'll have moments and stuff like that. When you get married, you're going to do quite a bit. A woman is a huge blessing. Y'all got to hear me. You let men do things outside of a marriage, because in a marriage, women typically do a lot. Thank you, Sister Natasha. God bless you. Inside of a marriage, women typically do a lot. We change our dudes. We change their wardrobes. Come on. What a married sister said. We change your wardrobes because half the time they don't know how to dress. Thank you, Sister Anna. God bless you. Half the time they don't know how to dress. We change their wardrobe because we be sitting up here like, bro. We go on through their Facebook profile, take that picture down because men don't typically pick the best photo. They always pick photos of them looking like. Consequently, if somebody pointed him out to you on Facebook, he like you be like, oh no. Then you see him in person, he's not bad looking. But they usually pick the worst photos of themselves. Women, when we get into, you got to understand, the man is making an investment into that. It's not that he's out giving you, he's making an investment into that. Because when you get married to him, you're talking to somebody who was married. We typically make more of an investment. I'm telling you, I threw out all of my ex's clothes. I was like, this gotta go, that gotta go, that gotta go, that gotta go. Dude, you look like a gay farmer. Get it out. I bind that in the name of Jesus. Took him to the store like, hey, what about this? I'm picking stuff out. Did that for the wrong dude, though, but still, he looked good when he was shooting. Did it for the wrong person, but I'm saying, we typically, what they do outside, they're preparing because when you get married, women, come on. Bro, I'm sorry. I know your cousin got out of prison. He learned how to cut hair in prison and stuff, but dude, he is cutting you up. You're going to have to go to the shop. That's what we doing now. Women, we genuinely, and I'm move on from here. We make men better. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. We make men better. We simply do. We enhance their lives. We make things a lot better. We make things a lot easier for them. Right, wear clothes from the 60s. Right. Typically, when men grab whatever fits. If it fit, and they women no, we be sitting up there like no. So I'm saying that when you're dating and courting, allow him to transfer the value into you. So he values you enough to marry you. When he values you enough to marry you, when y'all get married, then the reciprocation. Now, never try to outdo him. Thank you, Sister Danielle. God bless you. Thank you so much, sis. But then you try to do for him. You know, you can go in there and do. And I'm not saying when you're dating, you can't do. You do a little here and there, but never try to outgive him. Let him be the head. Let him be the lead. Let him demonstrate. Thank you, Sister Dominique. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Let him demonstrate or what have you. Stop trying to outdo him. Because you're taking that value and giving it back to him because you're afraid. You're trying to prove yourself. And I'm gonna tell you something. I have never. Got my dog looking. Oh, please don't be. Okay. I'm sorry. Hey, baby. I thought he was getting sick. I thought he was about to vomit or something. Hey, baby. How are you? Are you okay? I had to learn. I've never had to. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do that. I'm sorry. I usually say that when I'm fussing at him. You don't do that. Now he's looking at me like, what did I do? Hey, cutie. Hey, baby. Your friends? Talk. You see? Your friend? Where are your friend? Okay. All right. He's like, look. I say that word that triggers him. Your friend. Where's your friend? Where's your friend? Where's your friend? Where's your friend? Go get your friend. All right. All right. So thank you. Only love. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. All right, let's go ahead and move on. You love too hard. You got to stop doing it. It's okay to love people. It's not real love, guys. It's okay to love people in a healthy way. And I think we have to learn how to do that. And it's relatively scary. We have to learn how to love. Ask God, Lord, teach me how to love in a healthy way. Teach me how to love people the right way. The right way to love a person does not involve obsession. The right way to love a person does not involve sex. The right way to genuinely love a person does not involve you gaslighting the person, love bombing the person. The right way to love a person typically is just hey, listen, how are you? How are you feeling? How's everything going for you? It's just being there, being that ear, just it is being sensitive to the moment and knowing what they need in that moment, rather than thinking that I know what's wrong with you. You need mommy to give you some, don't you? Huh? Please don't call your husband mommy. Don't call yourself mommy to your husband. I think that's just incestuous and weird. But you feel like, I mean, you loving a person is knowing to intercede for them. It's knowing, thank you, Sister Sarah. God bless you. God bless you. You ladies are awesome. Thank you guys. But it's knowing when to pray for him, is knowing when to give him space. Because believe me when I tell you, when you get married, there are going to be times when you're going to sense that I need to kind of give him space. Which is why you don't. Y'all, we're going to go there. We're going to go there. We're going to go there because we need to go there. You should not be broke-minded and getting married. Most marriages end with broke folk. I'm saying that because, hear me when I say this. Extrovert, introvert, we all need space. Extrovert, introvert, we all need space. My house is a decent size. It's a 3-bedroom home. It's pretty spacious. I don't plan to live here for the rest of my life. God willing, I'll be out of here this year. I want to go ahead and start buying a house. I would love to just buy one out cash, but we'll see how God works it out. Thank you, Sister Felicia. God bless you. God bless you. My dream home, I have to be mindful of the fact that I'm likely going to be married. So I have to consider that when buying my dream home. My dream home, I have to have an attic. That's going to be my prayer room and a closet. I need a basement. I need a basement. I need a fully finished basement. That's going to be his man cave. It's going to be laid out. That's his man. That's if he wants that. I need an outhouse. They call it mother-in-law house, guest suite, or what have you. I need that. I'm saying that to say you need space in your house. Your man keep leaving because he needs space. I'm going to hang out here. I'm going here. I'm going there. He's trying to get away from you. Y'all got to hear it because we got a culture of trying to be comfortable. You need space in your house. Not to say the man shouldn't go anywhere because obviously people are going to want to go places. But I'm saying you need space. You need space. He needs to have a way to escape you when you're angry. You're not happy. Whenever you need moments, when you got PMS, when there are times when the kids are screaming and crying and he's just got through babysitting, well, not babysitting, but taking care of the kids while you slept. Now he needs a break and he needs to get away. I'm giving you that because that's why a lot of our marriages fail, is because our homes become it can become very stressful. Space is important. You can't be all up under him. What you doing? Why you don't want me near you? I think I need to change my hair. Is that better? Oh, sometimes people just need space. Sometimes people just need a breather, just a breather. Let me go down here and just do what I got to do. Let me go work on this. Let me go work on that. He needs space. He doesn't need you all up under him. Right, me too. I need space. But you got to hear this before I move on. He doesn't need you always offering him, coming up in there butt naked, thinking that that's going to solve whatever issue he got. You don't need to always come up in there. When I'm gonna take a bath and I'm just gonna drop the towel or what have you. That's no, bro, man can be dealing with depression. And all depression doesn't need you up in there like, you okay? You sure? Let's talk about it. Sometimes people just need to process stuff. Sometimes they just need space. They just need space. You good? You sure? Can I come talk to you? I just want to be alone. I respect that. But if you sitting up here want to work, yeah, I'm gonna go there. You don't want to do nothing with yourself. You want to work at a gas station for the rest of your life. You're not trying to better yourself. You asking for somebody to be broke with you. or somebody to rescue you from your brokenness, from your broken. You got to stop doing that. Read Proverbs 31 in its entirety and understand that there are two sides to that Proverbs 31 woman. Thank you, Sister Tina. God bless you. Need space. You want to listen. You want to make enough money where you attract a man who is doing his thing, so that y'all can buy a big enough house where I want 2 acres of land, my own land. I want 2 acres. I want to have a mother-in-law house, and I wouldn't mind having another house out on that property. Space. Space. So I can escape him too. I don't like you right now. I don't want to be around you right now. I'm going out here to the house. Well, we can't talk about it. We can talk about it when I go process. Because right now, I'm not feeling you. So I just need to go out here. Love you. Space. When you don't have space, y'all up on each other, you know what? That stuff that you shouldn't say, you're going to end up saying it. Can't go past 3 minutes and you got the nerve talking about somebody Smith. I'm like, what? What you just say? Nothing. It's too late. And you got to hear this. Some of the stuff that you can say in marriage can be damaging. It can really destroy the marriage. Right, a she shed. I love it. All right. Where was I? You're always saying something. When you're too tight of a space, you will say something just to get the person away from you. So you will say something hurtful. If I say this to him, he's going to walk out and leave. He going to walk out and leave. That's why your mama didn't know if she was a man or a woman. What? Now he left. I got my space. Now I can work on this project and get all this stuff done. But by the time you come back, marriage is destroyed. He lost trust in you because you have no reign over your lips. Space. So you can respectfully ask for space. Hey, yeah. Today, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not. I don't know what it is. Pray for me. Talk about it, obviously. But sometimes people don't. Sometimes people just need space, guys. All right, let's move on. Number 14, you are easily offended. You are easily offended. And you're easily offended. Well, everybody got to put emojis in every text message to you. They got to put happy faces. Everything they say, they got to put LOL behind it. They're trying to let you know that, hey, I'm not trying to be offensive. We live in an easily offended culture, but these are symptoms of rejection. You are easily offended. And the reason that you're easily offended is because you interpret everything the wrong way. You interpret everything the wrong way. Somebody can mean one thing, but you misinterpret it. I grew up in a family where there were easily offended people, and I can be honest, it traumatized me. Not only did it traumatize me, it made me not want to have, I don't want easily offended. I don't like emotional people. I'm be honest with you. I don't like easily offended emotional people. I will get you. I ain't gonna lie to you. And that's me processing, me being honest. I will get rid of a person like that quick because I don't like walking on eggshells. I don't like being afraid of saying something wrong or doing something wrong because I kind of feel like for me as a human being, I like to be funny. I like to joke. I like to just be free. And I like the person to know my character. And I'm not talking about be mean or say something demeaning. I'm just talking about some people, you can't say anything. Everything you say, like you can sit there and try to think of anything that could, okay, this person is easily offended. Let me carefully craft my conversation, my words, so that he doesn't think or she doesn't think that I'm trying to be offensive. And then even in that, they still easily offended. Even in that, you come up in there and you're like, hey sis, you want to go out to eat? There's a nice little vegan restaurant. So you're just trying to call me fat. No, I just remember you talked last month about going vegan. So, we haven't talked about food since then. We've been talking about now. See, that's the thing. You're always trying to throw shade. We live in a culture and a generation of people that are easily offended. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. It is toxic. It is frustrating. It is traumatizing. Easily offended people, you are traumatizing people because people are afraid. And I would much rather be alone than to live with that. I can't get up and walk into the living room and be like, "You smart? Did you fart? What the heck you eat? A human?" Now I'm being funny. Now you like, can't believe you said that to me. Thank you, Sister Linda. God bless you. I've always had these digestive issues. Okay, well, I didn't know that. I'm sorry. But you do stink. If you fart, people gonna tell you stink. So what do you want me to do? Just walk in. Now I can't say nothing when you fart. Dang. Now I gotta try to find a way to get out the room. When I get out the room, so what do you want? I can't say anything. You want me to just sit in the room and pretend I don't smell it? I do smell it, sis, and I don't like it. I don't want to be your friend anymore. It's a bit much, okay? Because now you're farting, you're passing gas, and I don't have a. Some people like that. You don't like. What do you want? If I say that it stinks, you're offended. If I get up and leave the room and I quietly leave the room, you're offended. I'm darned if I do, darned if I don't. There's nothing I can do. Easily offended people. That is a sign of rejection. It's because you interpret everything the wrong way. You misinterpret everything. It is frustrating. We can't have a conversation with you. The waitress can't even come and say, "It's would you like dessert today?" It's because I'm fat, isn't it? No, that is our policy. That's the last restaurant they did that to me, or what have you. And I don't appreciate you, little Miss Skinny. Easily offended. And now people walk around, they scared to deal with you because of your offense. Let's move on. Number 15. You're always trying to prove yourself to people. Right? Council culture, easily offended. I love it. Is it true? Easily offended. Can't tell people the truth. It's pathetic. But you're always trying to prove yourself to people. When you deal with the spirit of rejection, a lot of times you will deal with actual cases of rejection where people are not necessarily accepting you or embracing you or what have you. And in many cases, as I mentioned earlier, you will interpret or misinterpret. Like you'll try to define why they're not accepting you. And so what you may say, well, I think it's because of that day when I walked into the lounge and I got a little bit loud. Now they think I'm loud and ghetto. I'm not like that or what have you. So you keep trying to prove to them that you're not loud and ghetto. So you come and you try to do classy things. Would you like to go to the opera? Yeah, I went to the opera last week. You keep trying to prove yourself to people, and what ends up happening is you set yourself up for rejection all the more. One thing I've learned is that people who want to accept you will accept you. It's as simple as that. It's not even complicated. People who want to be a part of your life will be a part of your life. The people who don't, you got to let them be. Stop trying to think, okay, well, they never allowed me to get to know them. Let me show them that I am smart or I can submit. Let me prove to them that I am not the type of person that let me prove to her, because they cute, but they probably think I want their man. Let me prove to them that I don't want their man. Oh, I had to hit the singles with that because some of y'all let me show you this rejection. And this type of rejection tells people that you're crazy. Is when you are afraid to communicate with a woman's husband, but you will overly communicate with her. How you doing? God bless you. Oh, hey. Yes. Yeah, sis, you know, I bought this for you. Because you're trying to prove to her, I don't want your man. Where the hands at? Some of y'all know that. This has been your story. You're trying to prove to her, I don't want your man. I'm not that type of female. So you will ignore her guy. You will make him feel, you make moments between you and him awkward, but with her, you're just kind of overdoing it. Hear me when I say, when they go home, they're going to have a whole conversation about you. You know what they're going to say? Crazy. Because that looks like a spirit of division to a married couple. To a married couple, it looks like a spirit of division because you're just putting all of your effort and energy. And honestly, I used to do that, and I had to realize over the course of time it was guilt. It was guilt on my part. It was guilt from stuff I'd done in my past. Guilt, stuff I did in the world. Guilt, and I had to get past that. Guilt, just putting all of your effort and energy and attention into the female, but ignoring the male. And the way God broke that guilt off me is God started sending me male friends who were married. And it was weird because I'm like, let me go make sure that the wife is good. Let me make sure. And they, I told you guys about the mentor I had. He's like, the wife be like, no, I know you, no, you're good. But I was too busy trying to prove to her. Thankfully, she understood. And I think she understood that that was trauma on my part. But you're always trying to prove to people. Just prove yourself to people. You're trying to prove that you don't want their man. You're trying to prove that you're loyal. You're trying to prove that you're not going to stab them in the back. You're just trying to prove yourself or what have you. And that sets you up for a lot of hurt, honestly. Because some people, it's not that you need to prove yourself to them. Some people just have already made a decision about you. And that you have to be okay with that decision. And then at the same time, sometimes it's just not your season to walk with people, to walk close with them or what have you. Let's move on. Number 16, because I got some more to give you. You always feel like an outsider. We've already talked about that. So yeah, I think that was like number 1. You feel left out. So it's the same thing. So let's move on. Number 17, you destroy some relationships before they even start. You can write sabotage in parentheses. You destroy relationships before they even start. Meaning, you can see a friendship formulating, a romantic relationship formulating. But remember, we talked about, and I think this can relate to the one I was talking about earlier, whereas you can find yourself, you see him, we talked about Tyrone in the workplace, and you see the girl, the skanky girl that's all up on Tyrone, but you formulated this relationship in your head with Tyrone, even though Tyrone is completely absent from the relationship, doesn't know that you have that relationship with him or anything. Then consequently, you end up getting mad at Tyrone because Susan keep throwing herself at Tyrone. She keep flirting with Tyrone. And so Susan walk up to Tyrone and says, Tyrone, can I get a picture with you? Thank you. You look so cute today. And you get frustrated. So consequently, what you end up doing is now you're not speaking to Tyrone. At some point, Tyrone's gonna get tired of that. Because he's gonna be like, the heck? Like, I don't even know this girl. Why she acting like that? I don't even know her. Why she acting like that? You destroy relationships before they even get started. Before they even get started, you already doing crazy stuff. You're already sabotaging. You end relationships before they. You know what? I'm done with Tyrone. Y'all even talking? I'm done with him. I don't care because now he ain't got no discernment. Susan can have him. She can have him. He don't even know she nasty anyhow. Because I remember that time when I went into the bathroom and I was on my 15-minute break and I went into the bathroom and I saw a whole something on the toilet. I thought it was booty dust at first, but then I saw that thing move and I was like, you know what? I'm taking this pee home with me. And I know Susan had walked out of that stall. So he want to have that. He ain't got no discernment. Now he gonna be walking around this office crabbed up and scratching and looking crazy in the face. And he ain't got no. You formulated something in your mind and now you're mad at the person, and that's not fair. That's not fair. That honestly, that's not fair. Number 18, you isolate yourself. You isolate yourself. This is typically to the person who's an empath, prophetic person. You typically will isolate yourself because you're super sensitive and you can feel the emotions of others. You can feel the frustration of others. You can feel the offense. You can feel comparison. You feel all of that stuff, and all that stuff can be a bit much. It can be a bit much. And so consequently, you just try to stay away from people. You may say something like, I don't fool with women because women typically have more emotions. are more emotional. I don't fool with women, or you may just isolate yourself altogether because whenever you're in a corporate environment, whenever you're in a communal setting, you can feel things. You can feel when somebody doesn't like you. You can feel when somebody's going through stuff. You can feel, and sometimes you don't even know that those emotions don't belong to you. You feel depression and you don't know where that's coming from. So you find it a lot safer and easier to isolate yourself. I think there has to be a prophetic therapist that helps prophets and prophetic people to navigate through those emotions, to navigate through those thoughts, to navigate through those seasons, so that you can understand that that is completely normal. I happen to be a person that I feel people. I feel their emotions. I feel. I trust me. Before you say anything to me, I probably already know, because I can feel a lot of time. I'm not gonna say that true 100% of the time because I could be wrong, but I can sense a lot of things. And I isolated myself for 9 years as a result of that. I isolated myself. And even once I came out of isolation, even when I came out of my cave, when I came to church, you know how many times I've wanted to pull back and go back in my cave? You know how many times I've wanted to pull back and be like, the human race, I love y'all. It's been nice. To the back cave. Lord, when you send a man of God, just send him to the back cave. We're gonna be up in there. We're gonna serve you, we're gonna honor you, all that stuff. Just send him to the back cave, because I don't want to deal with none of your people. I don't want to deal with these people. I don't want to deal with the instability. I don't like the ups and the downs. I'm a consistent person. I like consistency. You're gonna see me. I'm always gonna be cool with you. Always. I don't like it's a bit much. To the back cave. And the Lord's like, I wired you like that so that you can be around people, so that you can help them, and what have you. So you can be sensitive and say, hey, sis, I sense that you're dealing with it. But now you want to pull it away, and you want to hide that gift under, in the darkness, under, what do you call that? You want to hide that gift because you don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel your, I don't want to feel your frustration. I don't want to feel your emotion. I don't want to feel it. So I'm just going to go over here. I'm just going to go over here. You prophet or prophetic person, that gift is supposed to be out on display. I know, trust me. Me and the Lord have had many of conversations about me wanting to isolate myself. About me wanting to just say, just send a man of God. And the Lord, like, Tiffany, you're called, you're anointed for such a time as this. You are not about to be up in a cave somewhere, married, and all y'all doing is just humping and coming outside and going to the store and going back. You ain't gonna do that. No, you are a gift. You are a weapon in my hands, and you are to be used. But that is a sign that you deal with rejection, is that you isolate yourself. God has taken me through many deliverances from rejection, because I be like, God, I love your people, but I ain't gonna lie, I don't like them all the time. I be wanting to get these people away from me because they get on my nerves. From a distance, they cool, but up close and personal, sometimes, God, I be wanting to choke your folks out. I don't even know how you deal with them. I be wanting to choke them out. But no, I don't always feel that way. But sometimes I do. Sometimes I be like, Lord, I love them. And I think most of the times, people who truly have a call on their lives, they feel like that. They love people. Like, I love people. I want to see them prosper. I want to see them succeed. But I don't always like them. I just want them to go over there somewhere. I just want them to go over there with all their issues. Like, take all that crazy stuff over there, because I don't feel like dealing with that. You didn't even call me today. Are you serious? You don't know I got a whole life. You're not my man, girl. You're a whole girl. You're a woman. I'm not calling you every day. I just sometimes. Okay, let's go. I don't want to stand it. You isolate yourself. Number 19, you often think that God's mad at you or has given up on you. You often think that God is mad at you or has given up on you. When you deal with rejection, you typically will go out here and you may do something that you shouldn't have done. And you may think something that you shouldn't have thought, or you may say something that you shouldn't have said. And so consequently, you always think that God is mad at you. And so you find yourself in a spot, where it's just like, it's hard for you to pray to him. Whenever you do pray, your prayers are religious. You're not giving him any intimate prayers because you feel like he don't want to hear from you. What have you. That is a sign that you deal with rejection. Is that you often think that God is mad at you or that he has given up on you. And some deliverances, that's the one deliverance that's hard to do, is when a demon get into the belief system and convince the person that God is mad at them. That God is mad at them. Number 20, you keep your most intimate thoughts and beliefs to yourself. You think outside the box, but you typically find yourself in settings where sometimes you come across people who have box thinking, like they think like this and what have you. So in a communal setting, in a corporate space, people have a tendency to clot. I call it clotting. That's clicking. They click with one another. They create these clicks and what have you. And you find that a lot of times people think inside of a small box. And consequently, you realize that you don't necessarily agree with a lot of what people say, what have you. So you keep your thoughts to yourself because you think outside the box and you don't want to be rejected. Because if you came out and say, well, I don't support Obama just because he's a black man. Oh God, here we go. No, Obama unleashed some stuff. Okay. If you come out and say, I don't support this candidate, I don't support that candidate, you know that that's going to get you rejected. You know that that's going to get people like. And in the Black community, we can be honest, we are afraid to voice our thoughts and our opinions because we sit up there. Thank you, Sister Manisha. God bless you. We sit up there. We are afraid because typically the loudest ones are the ones that's trying to lead in our community. Those are the loud ones who's aggressive and they go live on TikTok. Y'all, first and foremost, and you like, no, I'm sorry. That's not a racially motivated event. Bro, man was wrong. Sister girl was wrong. Yeah, and what you look online and you see the whole Black race, it seems like they're backing a person, but you're like, I don't back that because that was wrong on her part or that was wrong on his part. Now, I'm against racism, but so now you're afraid to speak because you realize my voice is in the minority. We are already a minority, but my voice is in the minority. And when you do speak, you come to find out that Black folks do put you on punishment. Call me a lie. Black folks do put you on punishment. They just won't speak to you. They just won't hang around you. They'll just do little weird things, but they will put you on punishment. What that does is it causes you to shrink all the more. I don't want to say what I'm thinking. Then you say, well, you know what? I'd rather just isolate myself because I don't want to give up my voice to be accepted. I don't want to give up my voice to be accepted. So let me just isolate myself and keep my thoughts to myself. Or whenever I'm in a setting and people start talking is something that I don't agree with, I'm just like, and I try to find an exit in the conversation. That's something that they say that I can lynch onto. They over there talking politics and I don't agree with their thoughts. And I'm just listening. Okay. Then they start talking about, and one person said, yeah, girl, I was going down to the polls and I was about to vote for this particular person. And I passed by Chick-fil-A and you grab on the Chick-fil-A. Oh, girl, I love their chicken nuggets. I love their chicken nuggets. I'm talking about, as long as you don't catch that little thing, that little rubbery thing that be in there sometime, but they chicken nuggets. And you try to change the conversation because you can't relate. You can't relate. You got to understand, if you happen to be a person who is I call it an independent thinker. You think for yourself. Like I respect my own opinion, like I respect your opinion, and I'm not about to let somebody control the way that I think. Come, let us reason together. Come, tell me what you believe, and I'll tell you what I believe. And let's have a passionate, loving conversation, and then let's laugh and talk about it, and then talk about something else. Let's do that. That's maturity. But at the end of the day, I'm just not about to let you just. I'm sorry, you're not gonna put a muzzle on me and call it friendship. So you keep your most intimate thoughts and beliefs to yourself. You have those thoughts, you just like, yeah. Oh, that's nice. Okay. Yeah, your lashes look good. In the back of your head, you look like you about to fly the heck away. I don't know why the heck you would do that to yourself. You look completely crazy. And then you wonder why you're single with these big old faloof on your eyes. You look like a mad woman. Who told you that was cute? And who told you to put color in your eyelashes? What is wrong with you? Stop following these trends. Girl, you look so cute. And in your head, you talking noise. Like, child, I don't know. Who told you that crap was cute? You look like a hot mess. All right. Number 21. And there's 23 of these. 21. You fear letting people get too close to you. How many of you are guilty? You fear letting people get too close to you. Because you almost feel like an imposter in some cases. And then in other cases, you have those intimate thoughts, or you're used to people when they get close to you, they leave. They walk away. So you just don't let them get close. You much rather deal with surface level conversations. You much rather deal with friendships that kind of distant, where you were able to wear your mask and or allow them to see one side of you. We're multi-dimensional creatures. Allow them to see one side of you where you can kind of laugh with them, talk with them, joke with them, or what have you. But you won't let them get too close, because if they got too close, you're afraid that they will reject you. They wouldn't respect that side of you, the side of you that hurts sometimes, the side of you that gets scared sometimes. You let them see your strength. You let them see your jovialness, your joy, but you don't let them see your pain, because you're afraid if I let them close, if I let them see my pain, they're not going to want to be around me. And that typically is a result of you being around people that have placed you in a position that you couldn't handle, where they kind of made you into a mommy or a poppy or what have you, poppy, daddy, whatever. It all sounds weird. Okay. But you allowed them to place you into a position, and then consequently, you've had people to reject you because they placed you in a position when you didn't serve that role. When you were no service to them, they rejected you. So consequently, you become afraid when it comes to other people. So what you do is you have a bunch of surface level conversations. You have a bunch of surface relationships, but then when people start getting too close, you sabotage your relationship, or you back up. This is something that to my brothers, a lot of men struggle with that. A lot of men struggle with that. That's rejection. They're afraid to allow a person to get too close. And catch this. Y'all want some revelation? I'm not saying this is all men. I'm saying a lot of men struggle with this. A lot of guys struggle with, they can get married to a woman, and there are levels of intimacy to the heart. The woman can have this level of intimacy, this closeness, but there's a level of intimacy that a man, because his mama did him wrong. The mama was this close, or what have you. His mama did him wrong. His grandma did him wrong. His dad, everybody that's ever been like this close to him, all up in his heart like that, they've left him, they've traumatized him, or what have you. So all of his relationships, if the heart was like this, all of his relationships are like this. So he brings his wife here, and his wife is allowed to stay here. The relationship is relatively cool, or what have you, from here. But the wife starts moving in a little bit closer. Now, how does she move in a little bit closer? She starts opening up to him. She starts doing stuff, and it causes him to feel some stuff. And so what he does is he begins to sabotage in an attempt to push her back. But she does something, and it's not that. I think in a relationship, you do want to always get closer. Even when you're married, because you don't come into a marriage and you're just instantly one. That is a process that you go through. But she starts getting closer, and the closer she gets, the more hell he gives her, because she comes in. Let's say one evening, he's in the room. She comes up in there. She sits on the bed, Indian style, sits in front of him, says, "What you doing?" He's like, "Oh, nothing, man, reading." "What you doing?" And she says, "Just in there thinking about you. I got a gift for you." Then she pulls out, let's say, a phone he's always wanted. "I bought this for you." "What?" "Yeah, that money I was saving. The money you said that you were going to save because you wanted to go for our cruise." "Yeah, I was saving it for you." "We can do the cruise later. I know you weren't ready for the cruise, or what have you. We do the cruise later. I wanted to buy this for you." Right then and there, she breaks through a barrier. Now, she doesn't realize that she's actually endangering her relationship, because he hasn't gotten counseling or deliverance. He hasn't gotten those places healed yet. So she breaks that barrier, and he's like, "Oh, baby, thank you so much. Wow, thank you so much." Night ends in a beautiful lovemaking session. The next day, he's on Sabotage Street. Next day, he comes home. He's like, "Oh, so you didn't even bother to clean up the house?" "I did clean up the house, but your kids just messed it up before you came in, and I was in the kitchen cooking." Never mind. Never mind. So he goes to doing, and the wife, catch this, she does something to get closer. She comes in and she says, she catches him, she gets the kids, go, "Hey, y'all go up in there." She go up in there in the room where he is. She grabs him by the hand. She says, "Listen, I don't understand what's going on with you, but I want you to know I'm here for you. I love you. I'm not going anywhere. You have nothing to be afraid of. I just want you to know, because I know you probably had a bad day at work. If you need a hug, I'm here. Whatever you need, I'm here. Just let me know what you need, baby, and I got you." Crap. Right then and there, she broke another barrier. He's, "I gotta go. I'm sorry, I gotta go. I gotta go." He run out the house. She decides, man, this hurts, it's scary. But he comes back home. She got the house clean. Everything is taken care of. She ran him some bubble water, a bubble bath. She said, "I ran you a bubble bath." He will destroy their relationship because she keeps moving, and he doesn't like that. She's moving into an area of trauma. She's moving into an area that has not been healed, and God is not in that area yet. So there are a bunch of demons in that area. She's moving into that area. He's afraid to let somebody get too close because he's afraid that if she gets that close, she's not going to respect him and she's going to break him all the more. And so for him, he would rather keep her at a distance, but instead she starts getting closer. So to destroy it, to sabotage it, he goes and has an affair. He goes and has an affair with somebody else or what have you. And he completely destroys his marriage. And once it's destroyed, he's just like cold and numb. It's not that he can't feel anything. It has everything to do with the fact that he was terrified, and this is his coping mechanism. You fear letting people get too close. You fear letting people get too close. Number 22, you move around a lot. Remember, we got 23 of them. Yeah, 23 of those. You move around a lot. And that means that you move from one city to the next city, another state, you move from one job to the next job, one relationship to the next relationship. You're always on the move. That's a vagabond spirit. The vagabond spirit partners with the spirit of rejection. That's a vagabond spirit. You go from one church, you church hop. You go to the next church. You don't know where to go. You don't know where to be. And the reason for that is because you're afraid of rejection. You're afraid of putting roots down anywhere, of putting value. Most of the time people deal with rejection. You may be a high giver, for example. You know that wherever you go, you're going to give, but you've had a bad experience with that. So consequently, you feel like you lost out. You feel like you gave to the wrong place. You feel like you did something for the wrong people, the wrong place. So consequently, you don't like to put your roots down anywhere. Consequently, you are going from one church to the other, one relationship to the other, one job to the other, one friendship to the other. You're always on the move. That is a sign of rejection. Last one, number 23. Well, no, it's 24 of them. I see I put 2 on one line. Number 23, you're clingy. You're extra clingy. You call it loving. Cuddles is my love language. No, you're clingy. You're clingy. Typically, that means that you are afraid of a person being out of your eyesight for too long. You know, if you don't get a text, a good morning text, if you don't get something, you're gonna feel some type of way. You can be relatively clingy, and it can be suffocating to a person. Thankfully, we had one person that admitted, but I can promise you there are 1,000. We got 570, nearly 600 people on here right now. I can guarantee 400 people on here right that wrestle with that. You're clingy. You want the guy to be up under you all the time. You want to know where he is or what have you. You're super clingy. If you're in a house together, he gets no space because you're up in there, baby. While guys can find that adorable, at times that can be relatively annoying. Baby, you go up in there, you're trying to cuddle under his arm. He trying to read. Baby, you trying to have sex. He trying to read. And then you take it as rejection because he's like, babe, not right now. Not right now. Okay. Now you turn that into a toxic environment. With all our honesty, you just went in there the wrong way. He was reading. You were supposed to go. You know, if you felt like you wanted attention, go and say, hey, you busy? And he's like, yeah, I'm reading. Okay, leave it alone. Leave it alone. But you're clingy. All right, let's move on. Number 24, you demonize people who don't accept you. She thinks she all that. Girl, I'm trying to tell you, he like them old, I'm telling you, he like them old thottish type girls, but that's okay. That's okay. He gonna mess around and get with the right one. You demonize people who don't accept you or people who don't bring you too close. And it's relatively unfair because you're not giving people the chance to discern you. You're just basically throwing yourself and saying, well, I feel like I'm a nice person. Well, they don't know that. It takes time for them to get to know that. Okay, so let's talk about real quick what causes rejection. What causes rejection? Number one, parental rejection. That is the core cause. That is the foundational cause of most rejection is parental rejection, whether you were rejected by the mother or the father. And understand that parental rejection is not always meaning that the parent was absent. Sometimes people can be present and reject you. I think that's the worst type of rejection is when somebody is present and they see your value and yet they still reject you. Number two, peer rejection. You've dealt with rejection from your peers, peer group. Whenever you went to school, people didn't necessarily accept you. You were the oddball. You weren't necessarily, fitting into what they considered to be the popular crowd or what have you, peer rejection. Number three, platonic rejection. That's failed friendships. Failed friendships. You had friendships, you tried to build them, it didn't work out, and you had to constantly deal with failed platonic rejection. Number four, romantic rejection. Of course, you could put that in parentheses, breakups. Romantic rejection. Every time you look up, and it typically centers around you not being mature enough to get married or mature enough to be in a relationship, but being desperate to be in one anyhow. So you go out there and jump yourself into a relationship. No, consequently, the relationship ends. I have to say this. If you are a serial dater, you are setting yourself up for some major rejection, which will cause you to lower your standards and lower your value as well. You shouldn't be out here dating everybody. The Bible tells us to test the spirit. You have to test the spirit on the spot sometimes. Where are you in Christ Jesus? It's as simple as that. I shouldn't be sitting in front of a guy in a restaurant on a date to find out that he's an atheist. Cause that can get you killed. Sitting in front of him at a restaurant like looking at the menu. Yeah. Oh, that fettuccine looks pretty good. I think I might do the fettuccine. So, talk to me about your religious beliefs. Oh, I don't believe in God. Bro, I'm gonna know that before he even talked to me about that. When the minute he asked me for my phone number, I'm gonna know that. When he asked me for my phone number, on the spot testing. You're not gonna let somebody come into a building and then turn around and say, okay, go up in there without a mask, and then we're gonna test you for COVID. No, we gonna catch you outside before you get into the building. When you coming through the door, you need to have that mask on. If you need to be tested, you will be tested. This one already ready. Look, this one he ready for me. Look at it. This is the type of stuff I go through right here. And this can happen 15, 20 minutes at a time with him just staring. Just weird. All right. Romantic rejection. Romantic rejection. Y'all, it's okay for a romantic relationship to not work out. But your best out to ensure that you don't have a failed romantic relationship is to communicate. Communicate in the beginning to make sure you're compatible. Don't just sit up there and assume I can change, because this is what women do. Men, most relationships. I'm gonna tell the truth. I won't say most. I'll say a large number of failed relationships were killed by women. The man just killed. He just dealt the final blow. Thank you, heart to heart. God bless you. He just dealt the final blow. Women have a tendency to. What was I going to say? What was I going to say? Sorry. Yeah, this is the distraction right there. Now read the text. Hey, baby, go lay down. Go lay down. Now you're going to keep looking at me. Go lay down. Okay, weird. All right, come here. This is how I get him to lay down right here. Hey, baby, you're an adorable puppy. You're blessed. You're highly favored. You're loved of the Lord. You always got to put that pause when I'm saying something good. You're loved of God. You're a good boy. I know. That's right. Raise your paws. All right. Women, we destroy our relationships by a lot of times we put too much thought into what we want, too much imagination. We put too much imagination into it. So we put a lot of value into a thought, like, oh my gosh, he gonna come home from work today. And I don't think that's what I wanted to say, but we can talk about that. But he gonna come home from work today, and yeah, we're gonna make mad love, and it's gonna be amazing. He comes home from work and he's had a bad day at work, plus he got diarrhea. Doesn't work out. No, now we in the living room crying. Now we're in the living room. I can't believe this happened. We do that. We will destroy our relationships with our own hands. And the man typically just go ahead and he will pull the final trigger because we are the atmosphere setters in many cases. And so what we do is we set our atmospheres to toxic and we get frustrated. And I can honestly say I'm a witness to that because I did that before. I know what that's like. And the Lord had to rebuke me. I was married and I sat back and I'm just like, I have these thoughts of what it's going to be like when he get home. I got these beautiful thoughts. He going to come home. I cook. We going to eat. We going to hang out. We going to talk. We going to laugh. And then we going yep, it's about to be fun. Dude come through the house, come through the door with a whole attitude. That did not look like what I planned out of here. Then speak. I'm like, so you ain't going to speak? You're like, not today, Tiffany. All right. Now, the thought that I had, I feel disappointed because it didn't come to pass. And I'm blaming it on him because I actually had good plans and he's ruining that for me. And now I tell you, I thank God, but he literally rebuked me for that. He rebuked me for that because what I was doing was I was tearing down the relationship because of fantasies. And I had to stop doing it and I had to learn. And this is something women have to learn. I had to learn how to not take my imagination. This is why I don't do this to this day. Like if let's say even with a guy, I don't take my thoughts and start thinking about a future with the guy or family and stuff like that because it sets you up for disappointment and hurt or what have you. I just kind of let the thing play out. Take no thought for tomorrow, for sufficient for today is the trouble thereof. But romantic relationship, because it sets you up for perpetual disappointment. And I'm telling you, ladies, you have to stop doing that. You have to stop doing that. You have to give him the freedom to have a bad day. He come home with a bad day, try to make it better. It's simple as that. Even if making it better means giving him his space, give him his space, or what have you. But what we have a tendency to do is we come up in there, we have all these fantasies, and most of the time we're crying. We're crying because of the fantasies. Come on, let's be honest. We're crying because it didn't play out the way we were thinking because we had this beautiful, this is something we've been doing since Barbie. We had this beautiful thing in our mind since the Cabbage Patch Kids, since Barbie, since we were kids. And we got this beautiful thought in our mind. He's going to come home and it's going to be like this. Yep, I'm excited. I can't wait. Then he come home and it's not the way we imagine it. It's not the way he come home. He got an attitude. Now you're mad. Now you hurt, or what have you. You're casting yourself as a victim. When the person as a victim, he's already victimized. He's already dealing with some stuff, but now he doesn't have your support because now you're offended. You see how messed up that is. Now he doesn't have your support, even though he's dealing with somebody on his job trying to sabotage him. But because you were sitting at home with a fantasy, now you're giving him hell. So now he don't have safety at home or at work because he come in the house and now you over there mad because. Thank you, Sister Joy. God bless you. I was going to let him play. We were going to go play. No, I'm just not going to say that. We were going to do it. I was going to have fun, and I bought this giant beanbag, and I was going to take it into the backyard, and I was just going to really disrespect the neighbors with my husband today because they got a camera, and I think he's looking at our backyard and stuff like that. But I was going to get him something to look at. I was going to straight up disrespect them because, they call themselves, Let's say they're Muslim. They call themselves Muslim, what have you. They want to be all disrespectful. They know they can't handle that. I'm gonna really be disrespectful in the backyard. I was gonna take him out there. Got the bean bag ready and everything. I found a nice little. We were gonna be just disrespectful and what have you. And now we can't even do that because he came home with an attitude and bad gas. And I ain't okay. Number five. Number five, what causes rejection in relationships, or what causes rejection, not in relationship, but what causes rejection? Number five, the bean bag. It made its re-entrance. Tell you it's gonna be at my wedding. Number five, sex outside of marriage causes rejection. Where them hands at? Not me, because it's been 8 years over here. Almost 8 years. I'm still gonna be claiming my 8 years, but where them hands at? That causes rejection. Not only does it cause rejection to the man you're sleeping with, but it sets the stage for you to be rejected by God to get the husband that God wants to bring into your life. So you set yourself up for a double whammy of rejection. You over here getting skilled, but you're not getting loved. You learning how to flip it over for this dude and make it rock for him, and you learning how to have him screaming like a schoolgirl on the last day of school. But the dude don't love you. He ain't trying to marry you. And you outside the will of God, which means you're going to pick up spirits. It is no winning in that. Thank you, Enthralled. God bless you. Enthralled Adventures. God bless you. There's no winning in that. Then at the same time, your husband can't get you because God is like, no, I'm going to protect him from you. Any man that God considers or God ordains as a husband, God won't let him find you because you out here thotting it out. You over here impressed because you know how to make a man moan. If there was a camera in his bedroom, you find out he know how to make himself moan. Two waters over here. Big giant thing of water. I'm just giving you time to process. That's all. Purified drinking water. Probably tap. Don't know. It's probably tap. Don't know about this either. I don't know. Y'all be impressed because you know how to make a dude scream. Because he was up in the room, he went from sounding like Tone Loc to sounding like Minnie Mouse. And now you over there impressed. I did that. No, you didn't. That's how he responds to sex. You had a camera in his bedroom. You find he in the room squealing with himself, making himself scream. It's just that's his response to sex. I'm saying that because a lot of you never been taught that his response to you does not necessarily indicate that you're skilled and that you're whipping him. See, there's somebody on here right now that's having sex with somebody who think that man is whipped. But that man is out there having sex with other people, and he probably screaming louder for her than he does for you. It does not indicate that, oh, I did something good. He just so happens to be that type of person. That's just how that's how he deals with the feeling. Girl, I had him screaming like Minnie Mouse. I'm telling you, the man did not even sound like a man no more. I had to stop and look at him. I had to make sure because I'm like, look, bro, I'm trying to tell you, I don't do no lesbian relationships. You good? Because you sounded like a whole girl right there. I am straight up 100% straight. You sounded like a whole girl right there for a moment. You good? Okay. Ready? All right. You was sounding like a girl. Had nothing to do with you. Go meet one of his exes. Yeah, if y'all have a decent conversation, she would tell. Well, I ain't gonna say decent, but if y'all had a conversation, she'd be like, "Girl, does he still scream like an opera singer?" Oh yeah. No, he did like opera with you. Yeah, he held note. It's just the way he's wired. Y'all needed to hear that. Somebody needed. Yeah, and most of y'all probably did. Somebody on here needed to hear that. I'm telling you. Sex outside of marriage sets the stage for rejection repeatedly. It sets the stage for you not to get married. It sets the stage for you to get married to the wrong person. It sets the stage for you to be rejected by the wrong person. That's what sex before marriage does. Number six, sex. What causes rejection? Unequally yoking yourself to someone else. That's to unbelievers and to people, double-minded folks or what have you, unequally yoking yourself. I can tell you right now, I'm not quick to run toward no relationship with nobody because at the end of the day, I got tired of God taking me through deliverance from people. Hey, you gotta have your life right. I'm just like, you know what, God, you bring them. You bring them. I don't even feel like going through it. I don't even feel like you shaking my life up or what have you. I'm God, you do it. You do it. And that's fear on my part. But unequally yoking yourself to unbelievers and double-minded believers or what have you. I got you, Milo. Don't worry. We're almost done. Almost done. Give me 20 more minutes and we're going to be outside, okay? 20 more minutes, baby. Number seven, codependency. Codependency. When you rely on others, you give people power over you. That is another word for that. You put in parentheses, idolatry. You relinquish your authority to other people. You give people power over you by being codependent, always relying on them for affirmation, relying on them for money, relying on them for sex, relying on them for stuff. Codependency. So I'm going to talk about a few things that rejection causes you to do, and I'm going to move through these real fast because I got it. Look at, he's sleepy. I never understood this. Look at that. Look, I just want y'all to look. I never understood this, dog. All right. What rejection provokes you to do? Number one, sabotage, destroy relationships. We talked about that. It will cause you to destroy relationships, especially when people start getting too close. You start feeling afraid. You start feeling afraid of dealing with the grieving process and what have you. Rejection will cause you to sabotage or destroy relationships. Number two, move too fast in relationships. Hey, dog it. Y'all didn't want to talk about that. I'm sorry, Milo. I know. I'm sorry. You move too fast in relationships. I know I've only known you like 2 weeks, but is this love? I don't want to call it love. To be honest with you, it's a little bit scary to me. You're moving too fast. You're moving too fast. Here's a reality. You don't have to move fast with somebody that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. If that just sets you free, raise your hand. If I'm going to spend the rest of my life with a guy, there's no reason for me to rush it. There's no reason for me to rush it. There's no reason for me to rush getting in a relationship with him. There's no reason for me to rush our relationship. There's no reason for me to rush it. There's no reason for me. We got all of our lives. We got all of our lives. Now, that's not to say I want to wait all of my life, but it is to say we have all of our lives. So because of that, there's no need to rush anything. When you get into a relationship, you move too fast. Now, I'm not saying that you can't meet somebody and marry them in a short span of time. If you know you hear from Holy Spirit and they hear from Holy Spirit and they're mentally, spiritually, and emotionally healthy, and so are you, go for it. But make sure you have the accountability. You got backing in that or what have you. But this is a tendency of yours. Every time you get into a relationship, you're always like, I'm falling in love with you. Wipe the tears away. What you doing to me? See, I shouldn't have done that. Now it got me coughing. What you doing to me? What you doing? I said I wasn't gonna love nobody else, man. I said I wasn't gonna love nobody else. I said I wasn't gonna do that no more. What you doing to me? No, you can't get close. I said I wasn't gonna love anybody else. No. you're in the process of going into a soul tie. It's not necessary, y'all. It's not necessary. I get that Hollywood has a lot of stuff going on. It could be really interesting. I can't wait to shoot some movies for you guys. It's gonna be awesome. But we got to get our mental health together out in these streets, right? Because this, oh my God, so now you playing. Who's that? Was that Deborah Cox? How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. I tried that love thing for the last time. I cancel those words in the name of Jesus. I don't speak that in my life. But you're over here moving way too fast in relationships. Moving way too fast in relationships. You done met him. You done took him. Hi. So I wanted to introduce you to my children. Just met you yesterday. So here's my son. He's just 3 weeks old. Dang it, you fresh off of the delivery table. Oh, I know. I love you. I know I just hit somebody in the throat. You holding Junior, you holding Tyrone Jr. right now. You holding that baby right now. And you already trying to date somebody else. I need water for that one. This is the sign I need water because I need to talk to you right quick. Give me a second. Right, elbow cough. Your cookie it hadn't even healed yet. And you already out here vetting the next baby daddy. At what point do you realize that that's not going to work? At what point does it click in that you're going to be sitting here having all these babies by all these different men and nobody's going to stick around? And you're going to have all of these children to raise by yourself, relying on the system to take care of you and your children. The system is Jezebel. It's a Jezebelic system being controlled by the system, telling you how much money you can have every month, where you can stay. At what point do you wake up? Little girl come walking out the bedroom. Yeah, this is my oldest daughter. She's 2. Dang. Mommy, is that my daddy? No, that's not your daddy. Go back to bed. Traumatizing them, setting them up for the same demons. Children don't even stand a chance because mommy won't heal. Mommy won't heal. Mommy just thinks that the cure to her issues is just to get another man. And she get another man, bring him in, and everything seems to be great. Now she put little Junior to sleep, and she up in there showing how she got Junior. She ended up pregnant with him because the fantasy did not die. She ended up pregnant with, and she go up to him. Pregnant. Now old Jerome on the run. Or we can go back to Pee Wee. Pee Wee on the run. Because Pee Wee wasn't expecting you to get pregnant. Pee Wee thought you were tired. Pee Wee thought you were tired of having babies. He thought, because you said that. You told Pee Wee you want birth control before you put him in a leg lock. Now you saying that he about to be a daddy. Now you got 3 kids. Relying on the system. Let me rebuke you so you can break that. It is not to embarrass you. It is not to humiliate you. It is not to condescend you. It is to tell you you need to wake up and stop doing that. You need to wake up. Because those children got to deal with those demons. Those children got to deal with what you don't want to get over. Those children have to go get past that. What rejection provokes you to do, move too fast in relationships, quit. And we have already talked about this, so I'm not going to spend any time there. But quit, you can say any relationships, divorce, breaking up, or what have you. It causes you to end things pretty fast. Number 4, crave acceptance from people in power. We talked about that. Number 5, date and marry rejected people. This is Hero syndrome. Evangelistic dating. You try to go out there and get with somebody who's broken because you want to raise your own husband. See, because the men that are mature, good, godly men, the type of men that other women want, they're typically already taken, right? And so you see little Jerome over there, and he got some potential. And you like, I mean, he fresh out, he fresh in the church. He still got that teardrop tattoo under his eye. He ain't all that saved. He ain't right yet. But you know, I saw him. You know, they even let him rap at one of the church's events. And he was rapping for the Lord. Even though I saw Leviathan on, Leviathan could do grabbing his crouch on the stage. I saw Pride and Leviathan. He rapping all on the stage. Now I'm not saying the rapping part, but I'm just saying the way that he's still dealing with Leviathan. You see pride all in him. Kind of like that. Okay, I'm gonna go here. Another way you see you deal with rejection, you like double-minded men. We can tie that together. You like double-minded women, to my brothers. You like them double-minded. Girl, I like them saved with a little bit of hood in them. You a baby in Christ. You are a babe. You are immature. You have not grown in Christ yet. You should not be attracted to the world. Right. Little Jerome got a little tattoo right here, and he's sitting up there, bro, man, fresh out of prison. And he ain't even started rapping for the Lord. When they asked him to rap, he had a bunch of stuff about killing folks and shooting up with folks. What have. He was even working on a song about shooting folks in the church parking lot. But they asked him to rap or what have you. Now he up there grabbing his crotch all over the stage. And he was like, look at him, rapping for Jesus. And his song sound like he trying to punk Jesus. Heal me, Lord. Heal me, Lord. Help me. Hey, heal me. And you over there like, oh my God, I don't. He fresh out, I know. Just touchdown. Oh, girl. Yes. You like him double-minded because you still double-minded. I bet he put it down in the bedroom. He be putting it down in that bedroom. I'm telling you, I'm sure. Then you end up in a bedroom with Tyrone up in there. What this one was Jerome. He in a bedroom with Jerome, and Jerome over there like scared, like you sit up there, you hit him on the butt or what have you. Don't be touching my butt. Oh, you got some trauma from prison, I see. Yeah, prison trauma. You got to be careful how you touch him. Girl, how you get that black eye? It's okay. it was Jerome, but he didn't try to do it. We were trying to do, and I know before you judge me, I know sex outside of marriage is wrong. Okay, I don't need to hear all that. Before you judge me, we were trying to, yeah. And I was trying to get kinky, and I just kind of hit him on his butt, and he had some type of PTSD reaction or what have you. And that dude gave me a two-piece. It was like, I was like, he apologized to me. I looked at, when I was waking up, he was like, baby, it's okay. I'm sorry. Don't touch me there, baby. All right. That's usually an indicator that I need to get off. That's an indicator when I get silly. I need to go. It's time for a nap. It's time for a nap. You like them double minded. You like them double minded. You don't like the holy surrendered guy. You like rough. Like a little rough around the edges, girl. Show me a little thug up in there. I'm trying to tell you. So you attracted to Leviathan. What are you talking about? You're attracted to Leviathan. That's what's behind the thug spirit. You're attracted to Leviathan. Let's talk about it. You're immature. You're still attracted to demons. Okay. You want a roughneck Christian, right? Roughneck. You want a roughneck. You want him to drop the beat when he come in the bedroom. You're like, take off your clothes. Oh, boy. You better keep yelling at me like that. Don't stop yelling at me again. Yeah, daddy issues. All right. And what rejection provokes you to do. Date and marry rejected people. That's the hero syndrome. Again, that's evangelistic dating. Number 6, befriend rejected people. You are surrounding yourself with rejected folks because you feel like the world won't accept them. So you like to go out there and befriend a rejected. Then you go through hell with them. And you're like, I just be trying to help people. Why? Girl, you got to understand that there are some people that you can help, but there are some people, and when you're helping them, that's not friendship. That's evangelism or that's ministry. That's not your friend. Yeah, bring the beat back. Right. And listen, let me say this because I know we got musicians on here. I'm not saying that if you're a rapper, you're off. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the ones going after the double-minded rappers. I'm talking about the ones going after the ones that are still fresh out the pen. Fresh out the pen. You befriend rejected people, then you end up going through some stuff with it. Number 7, you date and marry emotionally unavailable people. You like to go after people who are not available emotionally. How you doing? I'm good. Bro, man can't even focus on you because his emotions, he's engaged. Understand that people can be physically single, but emotionally unavailable. They're in a relationship with a thought, with another person, with a situation. They're emotionally unavailable. But that's why I said this was the princess. I thought about it. I was like, I don't want nobody to think I'm saying that because no, I'm not saying that. I didn't want nobody to take it that way because I just like to be funny. But sometimes in my humor, I may say something, and then when I get offline, I'm like, dang it, I hope people didn't take it the wrong way or what have you. But you date and marry emotionally unavailable people. It is nap time. I know. I usually see Georgianne on here to tell me to go to bed, but she ain't here, so I'm gonna stay up. But you like to get with emotionally unavailable people. And you know how I can tell you one way you find a person that's emotionally unavailable. Here's your conversation. We in a restaurant. Let me get the creme brulee. Hope I said it right. Creme brulee or whatever. No, let me say something I can talk about. Let me get the Parmesan crusted chicken with pasta. And by the time your thing comes, he's like, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like I told her, I'll come pick up my daughter when I'm ready. You ain't gonna punk me. You ain't gonna make me come pick up my daughter. I'll pick up my daughter when I'm ready. You ain't gonna sit up here. I know I ain't seen her in like 6 years, but I ain't been ready. I ain't been ready. If dude's still talking about his ex, he's emotionally unavailable. If girlfriend's still talking about her ex, she's emotionally unavailable. If I'm sitting at a table with a guy and I'm like, yeah, so, and I look at the waitress, Parmesan crusted chicken. So yeah, he left me. He caught himself trying to leave me, but little did he know, bro, man, I don't wait around for nobody. Oh no, the pasta, the house salad with Thousand Island. Yes, thanks. But yeah, he called himself, and he thought he was doing something. I'm trying to tell you. Last I heard, That's an emotionally unavailable person. When you're available, you should not be in unforgiveness. I should be available to cater to your needs. And not cater to them, but to listen to them at least. How you doing? What's going on? What laughing or what have you? I shouldn't be sitting up here weighing you down with my past. All right. This is what rejection causes you to do. Let me move through the rest of these really fast. Commit emotional suicide. This is the one I couldn't wait to get to. Commit emotional suicide. Emotional suicide looks like this. Thank you, Debbie. God bless you. Emotional suicide looks like this. When you say, I'm tired of feeling like this, so I'm not going to let anybody hurt me again. So I'm not going to love as hard as I used to. I'm not going to love as much as I used to. I'm just not going to love at all. Matter of fact, I won't even get in a relationship. You are killing. You know what's crazy to me? I've been married twice from being just silly back in the world. How stupid would it be for me to reject the right guy? Because now I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Spirit, letting God do what he needs to do with me. 8 years, during the 8 years, single, abstinent, everything, beautiful, love it. Okay, how stupid would it be for me to get in a relationship and withhold myself emotionally from my husband because of what the last two men did to me? So you mean to tell me I will give them the best of me, even when it was messed up and it was immature? I will give them the best, and I only want to give him the rest? I want to give him the crumbs of what's left. The devil is a lie. Y'all need to let your bodies, your soul, you need to let yourself heal, get deliverance between these relationships, and go mature before you get another relationship. Why would I sit there, get married, and reject my husband? Thank you, Sister Tia. God bless you. Why would I get married and reject my husband? You can't do that because the last dude that did that hurt me. No. That's not to say that sometimes when you've gone through trauma that there won't be any traces of trauma. You know, there may be times where your spouse may find a trace of trauma. You may find it. But as soon as they point it out, you should be good. Like, let me get rid of this. Why would I sit there and get into a relationship with somebody and punish them? I don't let people get close to me because, no. The best of you should not have been the part of you that was broken enough to get with the wrong person. That shouldn't be your best. I thank God that the guys in my past got the immature broken me. I thank God that they got the immature broken me. So that the person that I am right now, no man has ever had. I love it. I love it. The person that I am right now, there's no man that can claim to have had this girl. Not one. Not one. Because I allowed Tiffany to go through her process of healing. I allowed Tiffany to go through the process that God, and he's still, everything that he's doing in my life, I ain't gonna stop him. Whatever he feels like he has to do, whatever he sees, not feels like, whatever he knows, because when he God, he don't feel, he know. If he looks at me and says, this is broken in your life, I'm here for this. I'm here for the healing. I'm not prideful. I'm not one of those people who be like, I have it together. Okay, thank you very much. I cast out demons and I've written over 55 books. Oh my God. The devil is a cockeyed lie. No, if God says you broken, Lord, have your way. Heal me, deliver me, let your name be glorified in my life. I don't ever want to be that person that says, well, I've got it together. Thank you very much. All right. Commit emotional suicide. That's what rejection does. It causes you to get in a relationship and then give that guy the best of you And then when the wrong man comes along, the right man comes along, you want to give him the rest of you. Thank you, Sister Sandra. God bless you. God bless you. Y'all, I'm literally having a moment here. I almost want to share it with y'all. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can. Nope, it can't. I got a water bottle right here. Look at there. My dog is laying. Okay. So my dog is literally laying on this bed. I bought him. I bought a futon about 9 months ago. This beautiful futon for $150 because I was redecorating my home, and I'm gonna get back in here. I was redecorating my home. Bought this thing, put pillows on it so it can match my living room. The whole nine. It looks beautiful. I bought a nice throw, a mink throw for it. Got it beautiful. Dog rejected it. Didn't like it. Never got up on there ever. I made him get up there a couple of times. He just got up there because I made him, and then he got down immediately. So forgive me for having a proud mommy moment that he has actually got up there by himself and laying down and sleeping. Hallelujah. Because I just thought it was just now. It's just a he chilling right now. He's living it up. I can't believe he up there. Y'all forgive me. That's a proud mommy moment. That tell you I love my dog. That also signals that I don't have kids. That is my baby. All right. All right, back to the story. It causes you to commit emotional suicide. And then you start making declarations like you're not going to love people anymore, or you're going to do these men like they do you. That's suicide. That's emotional suicide. Why would you do that to yourself? Like, why would I give a man the satisfaction of having broken me to the point where no other man can really enjoy who I really am? I would, the man that God blesses me with, it's not going to get the remnants, the residue, or the crap that the other men left behind. I wouldn't dare do that to him. He gonna get the best of me. He gonna get the better. He gonna get the side of me that hadn't grown yet, that they never got a chance to see. He's gonna get the best. He's not gonna get what's left. Some trauma. No, no, the devil is a lie. I say that because women be fantasizing about that kind of stuff. We be watching movies and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm gonna be like that too. The guy's like, won't you let me love you? You won't let me love you. No, no, I'm not putting nobody through hell like that. All right. Commit relational suicide. What rejection provokes you to do, commit relational suicide. That's number 9. You commit relational suicide, meaning you get into relationships, whether platonic, romantic, or what have you, you're always destroying relationships. So I'm going to move on from there. Number 10, commit financial suicide. Financial suicide. Rejection has you spending because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses. You're always trying to impress people with money. And whenever you get in a relationship, you buying $600 wigs, $600 bundles. I have yet to see the difference. Now somebody gonna come for me. I know it. Tiffany, there actually is a difference. I don't see it. Maybe I don't have an eye for it, and I doubt if most people have an eye for it. That 100, I don't see the big difference. Why are you paying $600 for a bundle and you don't own any property? You don't even own the house you live in. You don't own your car. You're paying a car note, but you're paying $600 for weave. You're more concerned with what people think about you than you're more concerned with what people think about you. You gonna put $600 into a hairstyle that's gonna last 2 weeks. You could have took that $600 and paid off your debt. Oh, I can talk because I'm debt free. You could have took that $600 and paid off your debt, paid off your student loan. That's why they won't forgive your student loans, because they know what you're doing with the money. You throwing it away on stupid stuff rather than you sitting up saying, you know what, let me pay off this car because I shouldn't be paying a car note. You over here talking about some How much is your Remy bundles? You got any Brazilian with the baby hair? 750. How much to install it? 250. So 1,000. But they sitting up here, the repo man looking for your car. You got it parked in over at your cousin's house because you try. Come on, y'all. And you think something good gonna come from that mindset? See, you gotta have somebody to call you out on that. Financial suicide because you're trying to impress people. You want people to be impressed. You want them to see you driving up in a car that you can't afford with $1,000 bundle on your head and a bunch of full of lashes. Hey, hold on. You want me to park at? Okay. Only to go into this man's house, have him to split your wig, mess your hair up, and then send you home. Now you got to go park it back in your cousin's backyard and go home and call your beautician and see if she can try to recurl your weave. Right, $600 nails makes no sense. $600 nails. I've yet to understand why you have them nails so long that you can't function with those hands. You are basically saying you're gonna be unemployed for the rest of your life. You're basically saying you don't want to work. You can't even wipe your tail. You can't even wipe your tail. And I know somebody trying to look at these are my actual nails, y'all. These are my actual fingernails. My nails grow relatively long. And even in this, I almost had them cut down because I typically ask them to cut them down when I go there. But yeah, these are my nails. I got my mom's. That's how my mom's nails were. Hers grew long. Mine grew long. I kept mine long because I used to have to fight my brother, and I used to claw him. All my life I had to fight. Had to fight my brother, to fight my ex. These nails have seen some skin. But you commit financial suicide. You commit financial suicide. Always out here trying to keep up with the Joneses. Number 11, got 2 more, then we're going to go. You fantasize about committing physical suicide. Every time somebody rejects you, you start dealing with depression. You start thinking about ending your life. You start thinking about what it would be like what people, to realize how hurt you were, for people to, for you to go and say to people, hey, listen, you really hurt me. You feel like people don't accept you. And consequently, because you feel like they don't accept you, you feel like your world is better without you. That's a demon. That's a spirit. You fantasize about committing physical suicide because people are not accepting you, or in many cases, the type of people that you want to accept you are not accepting you. Because sometimes rejection is not stemming about you being rejected. There are people that are trying to accept you, but they don't fit the category of people that you want. Oh, somebody know I'm talking to you. They don't fit the category of the type of people that you want to accept you. So the people that you want, the people that you like, the people that you want to flow with, the one you want to roll with, be in a relationship with, those are the ones you feel rejected by. Number 12, commit spiritual suicide. You'll keep this up until you go into witchcraft. You'll keep this up till you go into witchcraft, and then you'll go to renouncing God, and then you'll start going against him. And that's committing spiritual suicide. Last one, number 13, miss opportunities because of fear of rejection. Many opportunities for jobs, relationships, whether they be familiar or romantic, you miss those opportunities because you fear rejection. Rejection has put a crown on in your life and it's punked you. Now rejection has caused you to become his own personal Ahab. You're so afraid of rejection that you miss opportunities. You miss opportunities for promotion. You miss opportunities to ascend. You miss opportunities because you are terrified of rejection. You idolize your feelings more than the opportunity. You would rather keep your feelings because you don't want to deal with the torment of coming home knowing that you didn't get the job, knowing you didn't get the position, knowing you didn't get the guy, knowing you didn't get the girl. You would rather sit there and preserve, and that is pride. You would rather sit there and preserve your feelings than to take any chances in life. I'm an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, I've learned that if I'm going to be successful, I have to take risk. And you know something, risks are not easy because there are two sides to the coin. There's the side of what if it does really good? I want to shoot a movie, and I'm going to likely come out and be talking about that soon. But I want to shoot a movie. There's a big chance. I got this big, beautiful fantasy in my head about how the movie is supposed to play. Big, grand fantasy. Realistically speaking, there is potential for failure in anything that you do. What if I don't have the right cameraman? What if I don't have the right actresses? What if I don't have the resources? What if I don't have this? What if I end up doing a low budget film? What if Netflix rejects it? Though that's the thing. We live in the what if. But God's promises are yea and amen. And he owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and they that dwell therein. So for me to have created this card game, I have to deal with the possibility that you may reject it. You may not want a couples counseling card game. You may not. When I write a book, I have to deal with the opportunity that you may reject that book. When I do anything, I have to deal with the fact that there's a possibility. But at the same time, there's another possibility as well. There's a possibility that you may support, and you may buy this, and you may love it. Then there's a possibility it may not be you. Maybe I have another target audience. I'm saying that to say every great and grand thing is often guarded by the spirit of fear and the fear of rejection. You cannot attain anything without getting past it. If you preserve your feelings rather than taking a chance, you will never accomplish much of anything in this life besides preserving your feelings. You will always be comfortable, but you won't have success. Thank you, Sister Brianna. God bless you. You will always be comfortable, really comfortable, but you'll always stand around and watch everybody win. Watch everybody get what you think you should have got because you were afraid to come outside of your comfort zone and take a risk. There are a lot of things I want to do, and I thank God for the opportunities he's given me. One of the most daring things that I did was move to another country for a man. And 3 more of those. But I took a risk. And if y'all knew that story, you know I took a real big risk. It was dumb. Dumb. I took a risk. The enemy hijacked my boldness when it was foolishness. I took a risk. I realized that I can't have what I want if I'm not willing to take a risk. So guess what? I take risk. That's what I do. Right to this day, I take risk. And they're scary. There are times when I'm taking a risk where it does not look like it's going to go in my favor. It looks the opposite way, but I have to throw myself at the risk. And you know what I found that's favorable is that many times it actually works in my favor. When it didn't look like it was going to work in my favor, it worked in my favor. You're missing a lot of opportunities. You're afraid to write the book because you're afraid that people are not going to support you. You think about the people that you got around you, they're not going to support you. You don't write books for the people around you. Guys, you got to understand that there's a different target audience. I don't market my books to the people around me because they're not going to support. They're not trying to support. Sister Alexis, I'm going to get one this week. Please, I'll have the ladies remind me because I've been planning to do that and I just keep forgetting. I have one every year and then I always forget to up it. I actually didn't forget to up it, but when I went to try to up it, they wouldn't let me. They were like it was 6 months too early. So this time when I go, I'm gonna try to see if I can buy it for 2 years. I'm gonna go ahead and try to knock it out for 2 years so I don't have to try to remember every year. Rejection will have you fearing it. The fear of rejection is a whole spirit within itself that causes you to be afraid of what rejection could potentially do to your life. It makes you honor it. It's a demon called the fear of rejection, but in other words, you could say it's a reverence of rejection. Meaning you've made rejection a Lord in your life. You're obeying it. You're obeying it. And what rejection tells you is that as long as you stay comfortable, you won't have to deal with the torment of how stupid you looked. When you went out there and you tried to apply for that job, when you tried to apply for that position, when you tried to get with that guy, when you tried to get, you don't have to worry about how dumb you looked. That's the fear of rejection. But it robs you of your opportunities. Satan comes to steal, kill, and destroy. You are killing, you're allowing him, you're giving him the license, you're giving him the weapon to kill what you could potentially achieve or have because you're worried about your feelings. You're worried about, but Sister Tiffany, what if he don't like me back? I don't want to sound cold. I promise you'll get over it. It does not negate or it does not discount you, nor does it demonize him. But Sister Tiffany, what if I write it and nobody supports me? God supports you. It may not be your season for it to go viral. And I tell this to students that I teach in writing. You can write a book and it does nothing in the first few years. It could be years down the road and all of a sudden your book go viral. But Sister Tiffany, I don't think he likes big girls. I'm a little bit too big. Okay, that sounds like you don't like yourself. Go lose weight. But Sister Tiffany, you understand? I like her, but I'm just a little bit scared. Go deal with the spirit of fear and disobey fear. It's as simple as that. We overcomplicate stuff. You keep obeying the spirit of rejection and it's robbing you. 25 years, 60 years later, your wife laying in the bed about to take her last breath and you like, I wish I had one more day with you. And she opened that one eye and be like, you could have had like 3 years, but you were too scared. Make fear afraid of you. How do you do it? You disobey it to his face. You do what fear tells you not to do. Fear says, sis, don't take the promotion. Take it. You know how many times God has tossed me outside of my comfort zone and it's made me who I am now. I'm not afraid to come out my comfort zone. Matter of fact, let me tell you, I'm about to go behind this one. But let me show you how not afraid I am to live outside of my comfort zone. You know, God has to put there's this thing, it's like this line God has on me because a sister girl, if God wasn't telling me I would be in another country right now. I want to leave the United States. It's nothing personal against the U.S. and what have you. Has nothing to do. It's just I've lived outside the country before, and I like it out the country. It's relatively it's cool. I would be going to different countries just to see what it's like, and I can tell you some of the options I got. I could potentially live in England, but I've kind of heard I've never been to England, so to kind of go there and look at it, check it out. South Africa, I've thought about that. So because I've lived outside of my comfort zone, I've had to be perpetually just consistently uncomfortable. I don't mind being uncomfortable. I don't like it, but I don't mind it. Thank you, Brother Tommy. God bless you. I don't like it, but I don't mind it. I'm not afraid of a challenge because at the end of the day, I know I'll be all right. When I lived in Germany, I wouldn't mind living there. It depends on where you go. But when I lived in Germany, it wasn't the best, but I used to get up and go walking at times. And I remember times I would go walking. This is typically when I was upset. All right. I would go walking and I would walk so far, I didn't even know how to get back. I just didn't care. I just walked. Because I knew somehow in my mind, I knew I'd get back. I knew I'd find my way. Something going to happen. I'm going to find somebody be like, was mad at the dude and I left. So I went for a walk and I just didn't really think about where I was going and I don't know how to get back. You tell me how to get. You speak English? Okay. You keep missing opportunity. This is the crux of it. I'm gonna do part 2 another time, but this is the crux of it. You keep letting rejection cost you. How much more are you gonna lose to rejection? How much more? You gonna go another year without writing a book? You gonna go another 5 years without getting a promotion? Moving to another state? I moved to a whole other country and I was completely fine. I'm thankful that I moved. I lived in the mountains, y'all, of Ibabak. I can write it out for you if you want to look it up. Because you probably can't spell it. Because I couldn't have spelled it if you'd have told. But this is where I lived. I hope I spelled it right. It's Eberbache or Eberache. Let me see. I lived in the mountains of Ibabak. Lived up there surrounded by apple orchards. I could go to the end. I never went all the way to the end to look off the mountain because that was scary to me. But let me see if I can pull it up. I got fat fingers. Them fat fingers. Yeah. I keep putting a V, A. Okay, it's without the E. And here I was thinking I was doing something. I lived in there. I've been inside of castles. I've gotten a chance to do stuff that I was afraid of. I was like most people. I said at one point, I'd never get on a cruise ship. I was like, I saw Titanic. I said I would never get on a plane. I didn't been on, I don't know how many flights. I'm saying that to say you got to get out your comfort zone. Y'all got to start making idols out of your comfort zone. You got to stop letting your comfort zone become your prison. You got to step in your comfort zone, sit back and say, well, you got to stay here just another day. I had to come outside of my comfort zone. I moved to a whole other country. Then when we got back in the country, moved to a whole other state. Then got out there, ended up going through a divorce, and the Lord said, Tiffany, I'm moving you to Georgia. And I'm like, I don't know nobody here. But I had to obey the voice of God because at the end of the day, y'all, I don't want to see those results from my past anymore. I'm done with that. I'm done with playing games with God. I'm done with trying to have the life I want to have. I'm done with all of that. I'm just trying to do what God wants me to do, period, point blank. Whatever it is you call me to do, Lord, that's what I'm here for. But I'm saying that I lost the fear of rejection because I've allowed myself to just throw myself into situations and then allow myself to deal with it. I've dealt with rejection. I've dealt with probably the highest level of rejection, which is a divorce. But you know what? I healed from it. I forgave, and I'm gone. I'm still here. I'm gone away from that situation. I'm removed from it. There is no trauma from that because I don't look at it like I was rejected. I look at it like, Tiffany, you was a broken hot mess of a woman who did not do what God told you to do. Thank you, Inez. God bless you. You didn't do what God told you to do, so consequently, you got your. Listen, baby girl, you had your tail and your pride handed to you, but that's okay. But you grow up and do better. You grow up and do better. Come on to England. Trust me, I am so tempted. I tell you, there's like this leash that God has on me because God knows that if He took that leash off of me, my tail would be on a plane. He knows that. He know I would probably sell everything in his house and load me and the dog up and be in England and somebody. Okay, He knows that. So God has to, He makes sure He has to kind of anchor me. He has to anchor me down or what have you. I won't even say that anymore. I think He had to do that at one point. I don't think it's like that now. I think now He's giving me the freedom. But at one point, one of the ways He used to have to anchor me was He had to anchor me by not letting me have the money to do what I wanted to do at one point. But now, I'm anchored emotionally. So I don't, even though I think about, I would love to live in another country, I don't obsess over it anymore. Because there was one point I was like, man, I'm trying to tell you, I just want to get on somebody's plane and be out. That's what I heard is more racist, and it's sad. South Africa, yes, that's been my number one place. Want to go to South Africa. Want to check that out. But that's that, guys. You got to stop being afraid. You got to stop letting fear be your God. Stop letting fear chase you away from faith. Stop letting fear boss you around. Stop letting fear Jezebel you and tell you what to do, when to do it, how you can do it, what have you. Stop letting fear tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not pretty enough, or you're not handsome enough. You got to stop letting fear tell you that. You got to stop letting fear tell you that. Everything I've ever had, I've never been qualified for. I've never been qualified for it. I never felt qualified, honestly. Nevertheless, God gives grace to the humble. God has done amazing things in my life. He has taken away fear. And anytime I've dealt with fear, I've always ran toward it and not away from it. And that's how I ended up in deliverance. I don't run from what scares me, I run towards what scares me. I run toward it. But I've been on here way longer than I should. I love y'all. I pray for y'all. I pray that you guys have an amazing day, that you have an amazing rest of your day, that you get yourself some rest. I want an after church nap, but I don't know if I'm gonna take it. But anyhow, I love y'all. If you want to sow into this message, definitely sow into this message. Definitely join Map Junior if you want to. If you feel like you got a talent, you like to help, me in any type of way, get in there. I love y'all, and I'll talk to you soon. And I got to take care of this one right here, who is wagging that tail, because you know about you wagging that tail. Look at you. This is Mama baby. This is Mama baby. Sign my mama's baby. All right, love y'all. Bye bye.